And we are live. Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Wright, human cartoonist extraordinaire, and welcome to the Kickstarter kickoff launch party for What the Gnomes Know, the latest CanonWrite Productions comics anthology. We got a lot of creators with us today. We're going to do a quick introduction, and then we are going to actually launch the Kickstarter on stream. So we're pretty excited for that. As I said, I'm Ben Wright, human, he, him. I was one of the organizers for this, and I am also the artist on Gnome Man's Land. And yeah, excited to get more information. Going over to my right.
I don't know who's on your right.
Oh, I think we should all be seeing this. Raina and Ariane are next. Sorry.
Should I go first or should you go first?
It appears you.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Ariane McCrae, she, her. I was the artist, or not the artist, the writer, the writer on Necronomicon.
There are a lot of gnome puns in this.
And I'm Rainer Cannonstein, he, him, and I was the artist on that story.
And also one of the organizers.
Yes.
Don't forget that part.
And also the other organizer of this anthology. Woo.
The primary organizer. I was just backup.
I was the primary organizer on this one, and I am the canon and CanonWrite.
All right, moving next, we got Jack.
Hey everybody, my name is Jack Wallace. I'm a he/him creator of Disposable Fiction Comics and one of the guys from the Columbus Scribbler. I was also the writer for the Trial of Buck Regal on this one, with the artist J.M. Hunter down there.
Yep. All right. Next up, we got Eddie and Kaj.
You first in line.
Yeah, well, actually, you're Eddie first, so.
Yes, but we're going
that's true.
We're going from Ben. You just got here.
Sorry, dinner. Hi, I'm Kaj. He, him. This is actually my first comic anthology that I'm in, kind of at all.
Right now we're just saying what we did. Yeah. So you just say you're the.
Yeah, I'm the writer.
Writer for. Kaj is the writer for A Gnome by Any Other Name, and I am the artist. And I'm Eddie, he, they.
All right. Jumping down, let's go to Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess, she, her. I'm the writer and artist of the story Thistle.
Nice and easy. On to Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex Washburn, he, him, and I am the writer/artist for Gnome Armor. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here. Yay.
Yay.
I'm Angela Boyle. I did Noir with a Silent G was my comic. So it's better on paper.
As are many puns in this. Kelsey?
Yeah, hello. I am Kelsey D. Crawford, they, them, if you please. I was the acting comics editor for this anthology, so it was basically my job to look at other people's written scripts and drawn works as they were working on a step-by-step and being like, ooh, I really like this idea. What if we did this? I really like how you did that. Or that looks really stupid. Here's how you fix it. That was my job.
Also, Kelsey did the cover art for us.
I did also do the cover art for the anthology. You're welcome.
All right, Hunter, you're up.
Hi, how's it going? JM Hunter, whatever you remember, at Hunter Art Lab. And I was the artist for the with Jack for the Trial of Buck Regal.
And last and most certainly least.
Ian Clash, he, him. I was to bookend this, I was the writer on the story Ben drew. So No Man's Land.
All right. Well, I think we have officially wasted enough time. We've given people a chance to get into the chat. Why don't we do the one big thing that we've all come here to do? And I just realized I probably should have set it up. But we are now live on stream going to launch this Kickstarter.
Screw it. We're doing it live.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Same joke last year because we probably did. Part of me's tempted to do a countdown, but there's no way it'll sync up.
No.
Probably not.
Absolutely
All
not.
right. Well, then without further fanfare, let's get this party started.
Launch!
7, 24, 2.
89.
Woo!
Yay!
We are live! We are live!
All right, it is time to hide this screen from everybody else. I will be the only one, hopefully, constantly refreshing the screen.
Can't. Otherwise, I would be.
No. Like, I know that temptation, and it is definitely going to have some stuff. We do have a ticker going at the bottom that shows a quick URL we made to make it really easy for you to get to the Kickstarter. It is also in the notes for the video if you scroll down. And there is also going to be a counter of how much we've raised during this video. So we'll see how well that goes. I will be updating that manually, so if you see a change and it just hasn't happened yet, that's because I'm slow.
Fair enough. Oh, since we're now live, does this mean there's GNOME going back now?
Oh, I love it.
I've been sitting on that all day.
This has been a puntastic project. One of the things that's really funny that we brought up is about half the stories in this Kickstarter have a gnome pun in their name.
I will say, being editor on this project has certainly been rewarding and not a punishment.
Yep. Man, I really hope my D&D friend Destiny is in this stream because
Oh yeah, no.
I love it. She hates puns. But one of the things that's funny with all the titles being puns is a lot of the stories are very serious.
And not all the titles are puns. Just want to point that out.
Not all of them are puns, but a decent number of them.
Some of the titles with puns are very serious.
Yeah. Our Necronomicon sounds like a parody of H.P. Lovecraft. It's just
sad.
It's
just not.
It's just sad.
And No Man's Land is a post-apocalyptic, like, survival story.
Yeah, it's basically a love letter to a dead person.
Yeah.
Oh, did we want to show the trailer in the stream?
Yes, we absolutely can do that. I actually can cue that up right now.
Narrated by the best voice actor in the world, me.
You
serious place in folklore and modern pop.
Let me get it started over. Well, you joke, but Rainer, I absolutely love when you read stuff because it is the campiest thing on the planet.
It's a great voice to write.
Gnomes hold a mysterious place in folklore and modern pop culture. Some say that they are tiny inventors trying to navigate a human-sized world, while others are bold adventurers exploring the realms of fantasy. We still don't know many things about them, however. What you think you know may not be true. In What the Gnomes Know, we have assembled a team of talented cartoonists to give their takes on these elusive creatures and show you their various sides. Be they post-apocalyptic scavengers, necromancers, or even detectives. These stories will show that there's more to these little...
I'm sorry, is this choppy for everyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was me.
Nope. I was getting it too. I'm just going to back up and see if it loaded a little bit, see if that helps.
Scavengers, necromancers, or even detectives. These stories will show that there's more to these little folk than you ever knew. We are using this campaign to fund the initial print run of the anthology and to pay our creators for their amazing stories. Backers can receive PDF, paperback, and hardcover editions, as well as a limited number of special edition hardcovers with handmade bookplates. We also have copies of our previous scripted comics anthology, Less Than Secret, available as add-ons. Join us and find out that big stories come in little packages. Find out what the Gnomes Know.
Yay.
Love it.
That was delightfully over the top.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite part of the original edit of that is it had basically a perfectly cut scream in there, is how it kind of read, like because Rainer read it, what the gnomes know, and it just cuts right there. I would have loved to keep it in there, but I wanted to have the credits at the end, so I had to do a fade out. But yeah,
You could put air horns in.
that would have been fun. By the way, we already are up to 60. Thank you to the 2 backers who have already jumped in on that.
Heck yes.
It's
I'll
always
remember them as Jessica.
actually, I bet it's not. Jessica messaged me and said that she was probably going to have to catch a replay on this one. So,
Oh man. Well, on the replay, hi Jessica. Shout out
yes,
to
hey,
you.
Jessica, we love you. Jessica's a super fan of Kelsey's and mine, who shows up to most of these things.
Nice.
But yeah, so this Kickstarter is to fund the first print run of this and make sure we can pay everybody. And last year, when we did Less Than Secret, a cryptid comics anthology, we were able to raise, I believe, a little over $6,300 total, and we're asking for $1,500. And one of the things that was wild is we actually hit about half of the original $1,500 goal during the launch party. So we are absolutely blown away by that. And I'm not saying we are expecting lightning to strike twice, but we hope it does.
We won't say no if it decides to strike twice.
Yeah. But what you can get with this particular project, we have, I believe it's currently a 140-page book, if I'm remembering correctly. Full color this time. We have PDF, paperback, and hardcover, and special editions available again, just like we did last time. And the special editions, of course, have handmade, are the hardcovers with a handmade book sleeve and a book plate illustration included inside of it. We also have Less Than Secret available as add-ons, sticker packs of it, and cover posters as add-ons. And as an extra special thing, we have early bird specials set up for the first week of the campaign, where if you back any of those particular tiers, you can get a poster for only $10 instead of $15. So please check that out. It's only available the first 7 days. So we did a quick introduction to with everybody. Why don't we go around and talk a little bit about what kinds of stories we decided to do for this? Starting with, let's jump me for now. We'll talk about when we get to Ian. But why don't we start with Rainer and Ariane? What was your story roughly about?
Okay.
The elevator pitch.
Okay, so there's this D&D world, which Rainer and Ben and a couple of our friends have been playing in it for a very long time, which has some kind of unique, I guess, lore regarding gnomes, where they're one of the few magical species left in the world, and everybody wants to steal their magical hearts so that they can use them in, magical potions and things. So our story is actually the backstory for a major NPC in the current campaign, which just recently got to level 20 after 4.5 years of play.
Well, funnily enough, it's the backstory of the wife of an NPC of a player who was uninvolved in this comic.
Yeah.
We'll deal with that later. It's.
I was the writer. Rainer did the art.
Necromancy is involved.
Lots of necromancy.
I got to draw a horde of zombies devouring people and tearing them apart.
It was great.
All right, moving on. Jack and JM, why don't you talk about your story?
Sure. Yeah. We did the trial of Buck Regal. So the idea is that it's Buck Regal is a guy who just got out of prison. He is a ne'er-do-well, if you will. He has not always done. He's always kind of been on the other side of the law. But anyway, he ends up coming back to his apartment after being in prison for a while to find out that he has a magical tree building out of his apartment floor. As he continues to walk into it, he actually joins a gnome village, as it were, and finds very happy, very go-lucky, a paradise, if you will, of gnome villagers that have kind of had their own little spot, and they've taken over his apartment. Buck decides to use them to his advantage and starts manipulating them to get them to befriend them, only so that he can later manipulate them into doing his evil deeds. And it's up to the villager, the head villager, Bella, to try and stop him and save the village. So there you go. That's a brief version.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Hunter, what do you got?
Oh, pretty much said it all. The fascination of strawberry milk and other of Buck's possessions that are turned into, more of their commune and whatnot. And then it's kind of like a fish out of water, yet more like a shark in the water, though.
That's very good.
Is probably what I would say. So yeah.
Quickly before we go on to the next story, did want to shout out the people saying hi in the chat. I saw this one. I am the player and I'm here watching. Is that Haley? That's my best guess, because I'm assuming it's a reference to the game we had. Let's see. We've also got hello, and I'm Swedish. I love gnomes. They're great in our folklore. Yeah, I'm pretty sure later on Rainer's going to be talking a lot about the folklore, because he did some serious research on this.
I have, yes, some of the insert pages are actually inspired by Nice and Tomte. One of them. So
save some notes for when you do your interview live stream later this month.
Good call.
Yes, indeed. Also, I just want to very quickly shout out that we are about 15 minutes into the stream, only about 10 minutes into the interview, into this thing, and we're over 10% to our goal. So good start. We're at 2.
Yeah.
Eddie and Kaj, do you want to talk about your story a bit?
Yeah. So this comic was actually another D&D one. This is the sort of backstory for the character I've been playing for about 2 years, who is not technically a gnome. He's a kobold, who are these little lizard creatures that are normally seen as monsters and pests. But he's not welcome in his community and gets run out of town, quite literally, and ends up being adopted by this kind-hearted gnome who insists that he's a person who deserves a home. So we're going to give him one.
Oh, so sweet.
Yes, similarly to Rainer and Arian's campaign, it is like a homebrew world. I think our DM's in the chat. Hi, Ollie, if you're here. And, it's gnomes have their own folklore in this particular world that we play in, and one of the key themes is that gnomes in this world are welcoming to everybody, and they're very nomadic, and they go a lot of places, and they're a big family. The whole community of gnomes is just one big family, very genuinely, and they look out for each other. And as always, they are inventors and tinkerers and creators of fun gadgets.
Looks like you guys are getting some love from Sarah Robinson. Hold
Hi,
on.
Sarah.
Is it coming up? Nope.
Yeah.
Hold on. Try again.
There it goes.
Kobolds love.
Oh, sorry.
As a shout out to Ariane and Rainer, excited for Gnome Wife backstory and all the gnome stories. Sarah has heard a lot about this particular character.
Oh, speaking of D&D, Ben, do we have an announcement to make?
Oh?
Yes. I guess we don't actually have an official date for when we're doing it, but at the last stream, the last campaign we did for Lesson Secret, one of the things we said we would do is a one-shot cryptid-themed role-playing game, and we've done it, and I've recorded it, and I've edited the whole thing, and we've just been looking for a chance to post it. So that'll probably happen sometime during this campaign. We'll finally be getting that out, and we are hoping to maybe do another one for this campaign as well.
Yes, you can see
That
me.
would be amazing.
It was great. Rainer, Ariane, Kelsey, and I were all in it. Rainer was the DM. It was absolutely wild.
I won't say yet.
I played Ollie the half-orc druid. She was great.
Yeah. Moving on, just so we can keep this rolling. Jess, can you talk a little bit about your story?
Yeah. I haven't really talked about it before, so I don't totally know what to say. So I think the most important thing to me when I was thinking, when I was writing this, was like inspirations. So when I think of gnomes, the first thing I think of is Over the Garden Wall. So so I sort of combined Over the Garden Wall and the graphic novel Bug Boys and my favorite manga, Triple X Holic, in coming together to figure out my story, which is about, I guess, a friend who's willing to make sacrifices to help another friend, but perhaps gets more than he bargained for.
Sounds good. Alex, what you got going on with yours?
Yeah, so when I was doing my comic, I actually didn't really have any like personal experiences with the concept of gnomes at all. So this was like very new territory for me. And so I wanted to write a story about a human named Diggory, Dig for short, who in this comic, humans can switch back and forth between human form and gnome form. And Dig loves being a gnome, and his whole goal is to make a special armor, to tinker a special armor that he can wear, which can like protect him from like the sun's harmful rays, which can turn gnomes into stones and allow him to like just keep being a gnome 24/7.
It's always fun having the myth of sunlight turns mythical creatures to stone.
Yes.
Almost like a troll in that regard.
Yeah.
From, thinking of Hilda's trolls and how they do it that way.
Angela, what do you got going?
So mine was Noir with a silent G. So you might guess it's inspired at very least by Noir, specifically Maltese Falcon, but similar to Jess, I'm inspired by the more cute Over the Garden Wall, but also the Port Vliet. I don't know if you guys remember that. I think it's from like the 80s, and it's the very classic red cap, blue shirts, and I would just pour over that as a kid. So this was a weird mystery take on that, because I've been trying to do mystery plus genre, and this was very good practice. I should also mention it's a hybrid, I don't know what they call it, I guess hybrid comic, so it's a mix of prose and illustration and comic.
I really like how you approached it, by the way, just speaking from an editor viewpoint, because like the moments that you made into comics, I was like, oh yeah, this really works as comic panels, but you don't have to illustrate everything. So the text parts also worked really well.
Good. Yeah, I'm very inspired by Posey Simmons, who is, I think, one of the big people doing that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing from the chat that I just want to throw out there for Alex, because this is a great way to describe your thing. They are were-gnomes, basically.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Were-gnomes. Dang, now I wish I had that term in the comic.
Yeah, it's like when I first created, I have a webcomic I do about cosplay and conventions and stuff like that. I did all this initial marketing banner stuff for it, and then after a while I realized, why didn't I call this a weeb comic? And I had to redo everything. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and let's round it out, because Kelsey does great work, but in this case did not do a story. So jumping straight to Ian and me.
Speak first,
Yeah,
should
tell
I?
us about your story.
Writer, go for it.
Sure. So, believe it or not, this was supposed to be a comedy originally. That is
I
not
don't
where it
believe
ended
you.
up. The plan was I just wanted to I wanted to take gnomes out of like the mythical setting and put them in like somewhere you don't normally see mythical creatures, like a post-apocalyptic setting of, after humans are gone, what's left behind? Gnomes, right? So it was going to be this over-the-top action, bordering on parody idea, and it's not at all ended up, or it's not what it ended up being at all. when I started writing, I was like, oh, this took a very dark turn very quickly. So then I ended up with the comic that I ended up with, which is a lot darker, where it's this, post-apocalyptic world. It's like a gnome who's now on his own after he's lost someone important to him, and he's trying to move on and trying to survive in this world. So it's digs into the whole tinkering piece and whatnot, and then that's where I ended up. So, like I said, it's not where I planned on sending this comic. So
it was funny working on this because in Less Than Secret, I had one of the darker stories, and it specifically deals with potentially losing family members and stuff like that, and it goes very, very dark places. Like, I actually had a friend of mine who read that story, and one of the things he said to me afterwards was like, "Dude, never have kids." And now, through no fault of my own, my writer creates a story all about loss and exactly same type of dark stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I'm being typecast now.
That's it. That is your role from now on. I will make sure as editor that you will only be pigeonholed into stories about people losing children or having to murder their children.
Yep. Good to know. Good to know.
To be fair, or weebs. Weebs losing children are bold.
it just means that even if that isn't in your story, you have to find some way to twist it into that.
Now you need to do a...
Help, I've lost my child. Where are they? I didn't know they got into my costumes. They couldn't look like anything.
Now you need to do cosplaying where somebody's small kid gets lost at an event at their event at one of the conventions, and one of your main characters winds up having to look after this 4-year-old who can't communicate who their mother is.
I'm already trying to juggle 3 things, and now I have to write down an idea.
My friend and I became responsible for somebody's ballpoint doll at a convention for an hour.
Actually, yes, Ariad, remind me of that later, because I just realized I have to get out of some stuff in order to write it down. But yeah,
I have a notebook.
Perfect. Thank you. Somebody remind me. So one of the things that was interesting about this whole process, because when we came up with Less Than Secret, the theme of cryptids happened because we just got a bunch of creators together. Basically during lockdown, we were all like, we got to make something. And we talked about what we might want to make, and the idea of cryptids came up. And while we were wrapping that up, we started talking about potential future projects, and the next big one that came up was gnomes. And part of what was fun about it is I feel like a lot of people had a lot of different backgrounds when it came to gnomes. Like, there are a few mentions of Dungeons and Dragons during people's intros. That's my main experience. It actually caused a little bit of confusion when I was talking with Ian, because I remember reading the script and having images of it in my head and then starting to draw it. And then I stopped and went, wait, how big is the gnome in your head? And he's like, oh yeah, about that tall, like a foot maybe. And I'm like, okay, I was doing 3 times that. The story looks very different.
Yeah.
But it was fun because we didn't even realize we had a miscommunication for a little bit.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons gnomes are all of maybe 2.5 or 3 feet. They're only slightly smaller than halflings, if not about the same size.
Dwarves, because
I remember seeing on them actually that technically halflings are smaller, which seems wrong, but is technically true.
Which is the best kind of true.
My world.
Well, Jack and I had something similar to that as far as the miscommunication, and mostly on my part. About halfway through, eventually I finally wrapped my head around that it wasn't a Christmas tree. That was supposed to be in the middle of the of the room. So, and I kept drawing all this holiday stuff and leaves and Christmas trees and I don't know how many times Jack told me it wasn't a Christmas tree. My mind just set default on Christmas tree. So
then it bleeds into dwarves and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's like you get a whole world there.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I also just want to say, Luther Patenge, thank you for your enthusiasm.
Patenji.
Thank you, Luther.
Patenji, excuse me.
Ooh.
Hi, Luther. Glad to see you.
Hi, Luther. Bye, Luther.
More comments come. We'll start posting them. But
Kickstarter. You need to update the ticker.
Oh, yes, I do. Wow, it did not update on the other screen. Working on it now. So yeah, with the different interpretations of how gnomes work, one of the other funny things that came up the original drawing I had for the gnome for our story. I might actually try to bring that up in a second. But I had originally designed the character with just a mustache. And Ian looked at it, and his first response was, "Are you allowed to have a gnome without a beard?" And he was right. The beard looks way better, but it was funny because it didn't even occur to me. I play a gnome in the D&D campaign with Rainer and Ariane, and he's clean shaven.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird to think about.
I don't think of gnomes as having beards, but I get very angry when lady dwarves don't have beards.
Same.
I'm like, lady dwarves have beards. Just the same as like dwarves don't have human genders. They have their own thing going on, and that includes beards for everybody.
Yes. It's just how the ladies style their beards that's different.
Exactly. There's very different styles. Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of the fun. We had 2 topics that we were talking about running for the anthology, and we're probably going to do the second one next, so keep the eye out on that. But part of the fun, Ben and I had been talking about who wanted to cover which one. I was the primary runner on this anthology. I was just like, I want to see what wild shit people get up to with gnomes. Also, campiness. I like it. Gnomes are silly. But y'all went in such great directions. I'm really excited for this anthology. Also, I just want to say that we do not currently have everyone that was involved in this anthology on this stream. If you look at the Kickstarter page down below, you will see a couple more stories.
Yes, I apologize. I should have brought that up before. At the moment, we are missing Catalina Rufin and Kelly Swan, who unfortunately just haven't been able to make it yet. Hopefully they'll be able to pop in later. But part of the problem when you have a very large group is it's hard to coordinate that many people for a launch party. But you will get a chance to see everybody over the next few weeks because we will be doing interview streams like we did last time.
Yes. It's not going to be all on me. We're going to have 3 hosts.
That's right. That's going to be the big change with that. We're going to have the interviews split up with Kelsey, Hunter, and me, all handling them on different days. We're currently we'll be posting an official schedule soon. We're still finalizing some people's schedules to make sure that we can coordinate it all, but it's looking like the first of them is going to be this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And it's going to be, I will be interviewing Rainer and Ariane about their story. So look forward to that. Tentatively, we're looking at doing streams. These are all Eastern times, 7 on Thursdays, 2 p.m. on Sundays with Kelsey, and 7 p.m. on Mondays with Hunter.
Also, I just want to point out that I also just want to point out we are also missing CM Clements, who was the writer.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. I knew I was missing somebody.
This team got too big.
It did not get too big. It got exactly big enough. Also, we are past the 20% mark.
On funding? Sweet.
Yeah. By the way, Kelsey, I saw your newsletter today. You're doing something special with your other Kickstarter for if we actually get funded during this, aren't you?
Yes, I made this announcement. So believe it or not, I actually have a Kickstarter of my own running for the Stars of Fantasyville, a sketchbook. So every year I draw for the Inktober challenge. I've been doing this since 2017. I participated this year, and this year's theme was characters from my comics, my written works, and my D&D campaigns. I drew them every day during October, and now I've put them all together into one book, which is The Stars of Fantasyville, a sketchbook. It's on Kickstarter right now. You can find out more about it at kelseydcrawford.com. Anyways, I made the announcement on the Kickstarter page that if What the Gnomes Know gets fully funded before the end of this live stream, I will draw a gnome on the back cover of The Stars of Fantasyville, a sketchbook.
Nice.
And I know exactly which gnome I am going to draw. I am going to draw this handsome gentleman here. His name is Harold.
Nice. Yeah, so Kickstarter cross promotion, good stuff. I will pop on the screen just kelseydcrawford.com.
Also, congrats on getting 20% funded already. Holy banana pants.
Yeah, the beginning of any of these Kickstarters is always terrifying. So thank you guys for making it less terrifying.
Yes.
A
Thank you
little
for
bit of
doing that.
momentum goes a very long way on all of this stuff. Also, I did want to shout out because the chat has been quite active. First off, some love for Harold.
Oh, good. Thank you, Jax. I love Harold too. He also has a T-Rex companion who goes by the name of Maud. I'm pretty sure I have Maud in my living room. Yes. Hold on. I will get Maud.
All right. While you're getting that, we also got a comment on if anyone's familiar with Gnomes by Huygen. I think, Rainer, you brought this up, didn't you?
Is that the one with the cover of... Arian, can I...
Yeah, that one.
With the guy with the one hat.
Angela got us covered.
Angela literally has the book. Hold on. Angela,
Yes, that's the one.
That's the one I was talking about.
I knew someone was talking about it. I thought it was Rainer. Hold on. If you keep it up, I'll make you big. There you go.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yep.
I went to summer camp as a kid, and they only had 3 books, and that was one of them, and I read it over and over again for months. Oh, that's a good book.
Apparently, it's got a good movie, too. I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to hunt that down. So cute.
Oh my gosh, look at that art.
Man, gnomes are adorable.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And the art in this is just astounding.
It is. That's actually really good painterly quality. Hey, holy dang.
Beautiful.
I feel like gnomes lend themselves to that kind of stuff. They're just... There's a lot of like whimsy and watercolor and stuff like that, and it really lends itself to little creatures like that.
Well, no, that's not where my brain went. My brain was like, no, they're quite dignified. They must be painted in oil paintings to capture their full majesty and their glorious beards.
If they're dignified in the manner of a cat, where you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, you should take us very seriously. We're very serious. Look, a shiny.
Yeah.
Well, that book has like the gnome anatomy and everything. It breaks it down. So even though no nudity, so
yep.
Yeah, I have that
I kept looking at the pages before I turned it around.
Hold on, is something missing from the chat? We're down to 9.
We just lost a couple people, I think.
Oh yeah, Ian disappeared.
Oh, okay. I'll keep an eye out for him. That's who's missing. I was like, too many people. I can't count.
That's okay.
He lost action. He'll be back.
This is Maud.
Maud?
This is Maud.
Is that on a truck?
It's a bicycle.
Oh, it's a bicycle. Oh, I love it.
It is a T-Rex on a bicycle.
Very cute.
Whoop.
So very cute. Also, because closer up, this is Harold. Harold and Maud. They are Christmas colored.
Yes, I understand that reference.
Your T-Rex is appreciated.
Oh, thank you, Jax.
Also,
Maud and I love her.
notes, for Angela, you mentioned you're going to try and track down that movie. It is apparently available on YouTube.
I've made note. It's open in a tab.
Because I know the answer is... I know since the answer is a couple people here, I thought I'd post this question. Who here knits, crochets, etc.? I feel like gnomes are all over the fiber art scene.
I crocheted this little guy.
I knit this.
Yes.
Oh, a little dinosaur.
The eyes are a little crooked, but that's okay. I still love him. He doesn't have a name yet, but I crocheted him.
He's a dinosaur.
Yeah, he's a little dinosaur. Yeah.
Nice.
I actually knit. I have knit so far 2 sweaters and a sweater vest because I am that nerd.
Yeah, I knit this, which is like a Norwegian sleeping cap, actually. And I've been knitting for like 20 years, so I've knit a lot of things.
I did not think about that, but this is kind of a dinosaur.
Yeah.
That's actually probably a good lead-in to talk a bit about the stickers, actually.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about the stickers for a second.
Kelsey, you want to take point on that since you're kind of organizing it?
Sure. So we're designing some stickers for What the Gnomes Know on Kickstarter, the sticker packs that we were looking at making were because I've done this for a previous design, and I was like, hey, how about we just do this with gnomes? So we're gonna have like a little gnome, and I'm thinking probably his hat will be different colors, but each hat is going to be striped in different colors of the different pride flags. So there's going to be like a hat wearing a transgender pride flag, or one with a bisexual pride flag, or one with just the standard rainbow flag, things like that. We're thinking about making a little master pack of these so that there's multiple different ones. That way nobody's excluded. Or they're going to be as inclusive as possible, I should say, because there's a lot of flags.
Yep.
There are a lot of flags.
Yes.
And in addition, we will also have other types of sticker packs, because some of them will just be a variety of different types of gnomes, as opposed to specifically like the swap out for each thing. So there will be options, but this is one of the ones we're most excited about.
Will there be were gnomes?
I think they'll need to be now.
Huh? We can add were gnomes to the
I would
sticker
love
packs.
to see were gnomes.
Really
or,
should.
Yeah, or draw one. So.
All right. Hey, and we're $10 below a quarter, I'm pretty sure, if I do my math right. Whoa.
Did it update again? Hold on.
No, 620 times 4.
620. Okay, just making sure. I'm periodically, if you see me looking to the left, I'm dealing with something.
Okay. Yeah.
Or I guess it's the right. Okay.
Math. Don't make me do mental math.
Yeah. But yeah, Rainer, we'd mentioned this a little bit before, but you've gone down the rabbit hole with the actual lore of gnomes, haven't you?
There's a lot of lore of gnomes. Yes.
Pride
New lore of gnomes. Pride gnomes. Yeah, so part of... all right, I'll talk about gnome lore now. So gnomes are one of the more interesting mythological creatures around. I think part of what's interesting about them is they're more modern than you think they would be. At least the word gnome is. It's actually a mistranslation of something I don't remember off the top of my head. That was basically one of the 4 elements. It was from the Renaissance. You got someone correct me on this. Salamanders for earth.
Fire.
Yep. Salamanders for fire, gnomes for earth, undine for water.
Yeah.
And then sylph for air. That sounds
Yes, that sounds right.
Cool.
Paracelsus.
Yeah. So gnomes start off as earth elementals in the Renaissance, then they get fused with Scandinavian myths of creatures like Tomte and Nis, which are, gnomes. These myths all come into a little thing, and they get added to the story of fantasy, and then D&D picks them up as just magical dwarves, because that was the original purpose of them in D&D. Is you have the sneaky short folk and halflings, the fightery short folk and dwarves, and then the magic-y short folk and gnomes. And then that comboed in with the French custom of Gardem gnomes, and all that swirls together, and that's why gnomes are so weird and so diverse. I had not prepared this talk, so...
It's okay. You can look over your notes whenever you're doing the interview.
I just knew it'd be a topic that is just fun to talk about, because the same thing happened with cryptids. We all kind of went down the rabbit hole of what is a cryptid? Like, what are all these crazy things?
I mean, I didn't have to go that deep of a rabbit hole because living by the border of West Virginia, I'm just like, I know Mothman.
Actually,
you know him personally, right?
Yes, I know him. He lives down the street. He's next to Jerry.
Yeah.
Another shout out, actually, that just reminded me of. We actually just got some really exciting news towards the end of last week. 2 stories from Less Than Secret are finalists for the Space Prize in the short story mini comic category. They are A Day in the Life of Mothman by Kelsey Crawford and My Story of Mother's Love. So, news. If you're one of the people who votes on that, vote for us. Anyway,
I screamed about it so loud when I got that text message. Like I was on a little short vacation this past weekend to Umicon up in Detroit, an anime convention, and my friends and I just got into the hotel room, and I suddenly saw your message, and I was like, "What?" It was amazing.
Yeah, working on one of the things that was interesting working on Less Than Secret is we really started submitting it to more award things because it was one of those projects where everyone did such a good job. It's like, we got to give it a shot. This is the best shot I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
we might do the same thing with the Gnome anthology.
Oh, we definitely will. Actually, another thing we did that I hope to see in the future, we made little minis that we gave away for Free Comic Book Day of some of the stories from Less Than Secret, which was an interesting exercise. I'm now using them basically as my business cards, where if someone asks if I have a card, I'm like, here, it's a comic.
Yeah.
Great.
To clarify, because we've been talking about D&D stuff, when he says minis, he means mini comics.
Oh, fair.
Although we do have a D&D mini of the protagonist from ours.
Oh yes, this is Captain after he like grows up and
Here.
gets a business suit.
Yeah, this is Captain all grown up. Let's see if we can get him to focus. Come on, focus, buddy.
Come on, focus buds.
You can do
Oh my
it.
gosh, look at him. I think the camera might be
doing-
trying to focus on the envelope more so than
the
the
envelope's not
than
helping.
the little
Actually.
guy.
We wanna keep him- Come on, it's focusing on Flack instead.
I thought I saw.
No, we're not getting
It's not going to
there.
happen, unfortunately. But we assure you, he is there.
Yep.
He
He's
is
there in
so
his
cute,
little
though.
business suit.
And it's funny because I kind of recognize him because of how you drew him in the comic. It matches.
Maybe if we get $200,000, we'll make D&D minis of the characters. I announce that here. I will personally go into Hero Forge.
By the way, Eddie, I think you're getting a shout out.
Oh, my brother's in the chat. Hi, Brian.
Yay!
The business kobold
Yes.
and a little guy.
A little guy. He is. He is indeed all of these things. He is a little guy. He is a business boy. He is just a small fella. And he is a gnome at heart.
Also, just want to shout out that we've officially passed the quarter mark. So not bad for about 40 minutes.
Just going to reiterate, if we get fully funded before the end of this live stream, I will draw a gnome on the back of my upcoming sketchbook, The Stars of Fantasyville. So if you want more gnomes in the world, make it happen, y'all.
So y'all just quadruple your pledge.
Yeah, your pledge. Order commissions.
Or if you have a friend who is into gnomes, maybe text this to them. We always appreciate word shout outs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, share it around.
Yep.
No enthusiast in your life. Let them know.
Yes.
It is true. If you want to be posting it, we do have the tiny URL link. That's the easiest one to share. There is a full Kickstarter link, but those are a pain to try and explain to people. It's way easier to just do tinyurl.com/gnomecomics. We are also using the hashtags What the Gnomes Know and Gnome Comics. So if you do any stuff on social media, post that. And you can also tag us. We're on Twitter as I think CanonWrite is actually only on Twitter. It's CanonWrite PROD. I will post that because it is a little hard to say.
I'm following you yet. Hold on, let me fix that.
But you could also we all have social media stuff posted in the description of things because there are bios for all our wonderful people. If you want more details on any individual person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks like I'm already following you. Sweet.
Yep.
Everybody, you should follow them.
Yes.
We also are working on starting a CanonWrite channel that for YouTube. That is where all these videos are going to be replayed, and we're also hoping to start live streaming directly to there before the end of the campaign. We were not able to get it working today because YouTube has a couple extra verification requirements that we found out a little too late. But hopefully, starting with the next one, these streams will happen from the creator streams. It'll be me, Kelsey, or Hunter for a lot of them, and also playing at the same time on the CanonWrite stream. So if you want to follow them all, that's a good place to go. Or you can do the other awesome thing, which is follow Kelsey and Hunter and me.
Yeah. We're going to be doing interview streams. It would just be pertinent for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, it'd be a shame not to follow them.
Yes.
It's true. Shameless shilling. One of the other factors, let's talk a little bit about what those interview streams are, because that is something that we started doing with the last Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that I don't think I'd really seen before, and I don't know why, because it's completely awesome.
Yeah, it's a little weird. You would think that more anthology projects would want to highlight the individual creators in like one-on-one talks. But that's what we do.
Yeah, it is one of those things where, so when Rainer and I first decided we wanted to organize anthologies, we submitted to anthology and things like that and been pretty low activity, but we never had actually put one together ourselves. So I like to joke that we actually didn't know what was expected, like what we were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like, yeah, let's just do interviews with everybody. Like everyone would want to promote their projects, right? And we want to be able to promote them, because half of doing anything in comics or social media or anything like that, you're promoting the people as much as you're promoting the work. So,
and again, super special shout out to Kelsey for the first anthology interviews.
Yep.
And many of the ones this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun to do them. It did take a lot of energy, but it was worth it. But because of how big the team is this time around, we agreed that it would be best to have 3 interviewers this time around, so that it wasn't all just on me.
Also, Kelsey has the aforementioned other Kickstarter running, so it just would have been unfair.
Yeah.
Speaking of the 3, let's reiterate that schedule of interviews.
Yes. We will post a proper infographic with that soon. But for now, the first interviews will be Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on the BWH Comics channel, same one that you're on right now. And that will feature, I will be interviewing Rainer and Ariane about their story, Necronomicon.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Kelsey. I don't have it in front of me. Kelsey, do you happen to remember who you're interviewing that day?
On that day, I have my phone floating around here. So you know what? Let me look at my calendar, because I put it in my calendar, like a smart bean. Bringing it up. I am talking with, on that day, you and Ian about your short story.
I should have remembered that. I'm there.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah.
You really should have remembered that one, Ben.
I'm doing a lot, you guys.
You are doing a lot, and we appreciate you. Speaking of you doing a lot, have you done the Kickstarter running thing and checked the new balance recently?
Did it change again already?
I haven't looked.
No.
The answer is... It's taking a second to load, but I will update it if anything has changed.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah, so that's going to be Sunday at 2 p.m.
Yes, 2 p.m. Eastern. And that will be on my YouTube channel.
Your YouTube channel is way easier to find because for some reason you got a custom URL.
Yes. That's a recent thing that YouTube rolled out. They were like, oh, by the way, you can have handles now, and that makes you easier to spot. And I'm like, sweet.
That's a recent thing? I need to add that. I thought I somehow got grandfathered out of it. Yeah.
Surprise.
And Monday, we're going to have Hunter's first streams at 7 p.m. over on his channel. That's going to be with Angela, I believe.
Is it Jack or Angela? I know both of them eventually.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at an old schedule.
Me, but I don't know.
No, it's Jack. I'm sorry. We ended up having to move Angela. Angela will be later. We'll have you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to give Angela a good interview because Angela helped me out on this project big time. So
yes. So I'm going to assume that the schedule of interviews is going to be posted as a Kickstarter update on your campaign.
Yes.
That would be the smart thing to do.
The only reason we haven't posted it yet is because we're still doing a little bit of coordination. I'm hoping to post a thing with all of them by tomorrow, just so we can have a direct list that everybody can see. But just to start things off, Ariane and Rainer on my channel on Thursday, Ian and I on Kelsey's channel on Sunday, and then Jack on Hunter's channel on Monday. And we will have all the rest posted shortly thereafter.
Yes. And this is a lot to throw out. So,
yeah.
Again, updates will be coming soon.
Looks like we're in the chat also getting some more gnome facts.
Also, this one is Swedish, but there's a popular poem from 1881 by Victor Rydberg called Tomten, the most common Swedish translation of gnome, though also our word for Santa Claus. There should be English translations that can be found. It sums up quite well what gnomes are, at least in Swedish traditions. They help out at farms and check on the animals. And like most fair folk, they enjoy riddles.
Did anyone work riddles into their story? I don't remember doing that.
No, I wish I had now, but
exactly, that would have been awesome.
Limit, I don't think I could have crammed that into.
Funny enough, there was a short story. It unfortunately had to be cut because of time constraints, but there was a short story that did have a riddle involved because fairies were also involved. But the contributor who wrote that short had to bow out of the project kind of early on, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate truths of organizing anthologies. You're not going to have everyone there all the way to the finish line. That's okay. They can work on the next one.
Yeah, exactly. But we were so close. We were so close to working in a riddle.
All right.
That lore or that history, it sounds like probably one of the other, I guess, myths or pieces of folklore that gnomes got sort of combined with would be brownies.
Yeah.
Because I've kind of always wanted to do a story about brownies, and I'm pretty sure Tonta are much closer to like the brownie in folklore than to a more traditional garden gnome thing.
The problem with folklore is that everyone uses different words for the same things and the same word for different things.
Yep.
Yeah. I found out the hard way that in a lot of folklore, like the terms I'd known for gnome were Sverfneblin and Nibelungen. And I think talking to Rainer, I learned neither of those are technically gnomes.
Yeah, no.
Like elf dwarves.
Elf dwarves. No.
Fair. That is basically what a gnome is.
That is basically what a gnome is.
But,
you're not wrong.
But more like modern fantasy drow. But
And for people who do not know, drow are basically like fantasy elves that live under the ground.
Yep. You want to have real fun, try Googling everything that's being called a dragon and how dissimilar they all are.
Overly Sarcastic Productions did a video about that. We're not going to recap that here.
Yeah, no, just watch the Overly Sarcastic Productions video because it's great and very accurate.
Yes.
Yep.
I like the comic you did. Rainer did a comic. Is that still? That's probably available somewhere. People can look at it about giants.
Yes,
and
I
the
just
different things
rewrote
that
that.
have been called giants over the centuries.
That'll go in a Kickstarter update too. Why not?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll link to that.
Brownies are very similar to our traditional gnomes.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Also, just because I love these creatures, I always confuse red caps for gnomes.
Ooh.
Yeah, red caps. Honestly, if I had done my own story, that might have been something I covered because it's basically a homicidal gnome.
Gnomes but with murder.
No mercy.
Yep.
I love that. That's so good.
Icelandic elves matched with some descriptions of gnomes, and don't even try figuring out Vetar. Vetar can be just about anything. That is my best pronunciation. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it.
Red caps, the metal gnomes.
Now I want to do another gnome comic, Metal Gnomes.
Yeah. JM, you're also doing Gnomevember, aren't you?
Yep, I'm actually doing gnome comics, gnome t-shirts, gnome prints, gnome little strips. Some are metal punk gnomes, some are just more. I actually have a couple sketches real quick here.
My goodness.
Oh, let me get you big on the screen.
Ooh.
Wow. That's really cool.
Look at the detail on
these will
the
look
hat, though.
different than the and I do mine different cultures and stuff like that and different influences. So I've got black gnomes with dreads. I've got probably Latinx gnomes, all kinds of stuff like that. So I could put them through a bunch of different filters, and I have a psychedelic version, and I have a regular more wannabe Brian Froud version, and etc. So, and then ones that cuss.
I noticed some of that was line art work. Is any of that for the coloring book that the Columbus Cartoon Coalition's doing?
No, I actually am doing a group of new heroes that are multicultural. So that way they're more inclusive. And that way, whenever I do more classrooms, nice versions of these characters, teachers can actually put them on their walls and stuff like that. So so I've got about 8 of them. I've put the layouts inside the CX3 chat. So that's what that's what I asked about the golden ratio. And Kelsey was like, "What's so big about it?" I'm like, "I don't understand it."
And
I know what it is in theory. I just know how to apply it.
Yeah, so. I gave a reply to you, and I don't think you saw it. I said check out some page spreads from Ode to Kirihito by Osamu Tezuka.
You did, and then someone else gave me Saul Goodsam or Max Douglas in Canada gave me some other grid. I forgot what he called it, but it looked like a bunch of converging angles and lines. So, but yeah. So, but yeah, gnomes. I'm just all in on gnomes, and then eventually I'll work my way through all the different fairy folklore and things of that nature. I even have my little planner with the mushroom on it, so I'm gonna do little November things, and then an epic doodle made up of a bunch of different prompts that combine to make one big gnome. So I don't know where I'm gonna put that one yet. I don't know if that's a stretch goal possibility or what. So, but yeah. So.
All right. One thing I want to also throw out there is we are right around the 1/3 mark.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
1/3 of the way.
And it's worth noting,
yes.
from the time we launched at 7:07, so it hasn't quite been an hour. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Actually, is that already more than we made in Lesson Secret by that time? Because I don't think we quite hit the halfway mark with Lesson Secret. We got close, and that was only asking for 1,500, so we've already done better.
Well,
thank you, everyone. Thank you for contributing.
Yes.
Thank you. Huge.
Very grateful.
By the way, I also want to throw out, just because it is fun, and we've been talking about gnome puns. I like to do fun names for tiers and Kickstarters, and a while back, I made an entire list of song parody names with gnomes in them. Many of them are terrible, but that was half the fun. But as a result,
you're going to read some of these out loud.
I am. We've got, for the PDF copy of What the Gnomes Know, the tier is called Like a Rolling Gnome. For the paperback edition of What the Gnomes Know, it's Somebody That I Used to Gnome. Come on, load faster.
I can hear some people in chat just cringe.
Look, this one, hardcover edition is The Mid-Gnome Train to Georgia.
That was a stretch, but I'll allow it.
We've got my favorite one next, which is the last one that actually managed to get on here. It's Sverfneblin Gonna Give You Up. I brought it every single time in chat. I don't care if anybody likes that. I'm putting it on there. That one's for me.
That's a woo.
I just blacked out while reading the tier names.
And it accidentally picked the top tier up, I hope. By the way, if anyone just can't bring themselves to back one with a crazy name, you can back early bird specials, which have normal names. but only during the first 7 days, so better get on that. Is there another good one?
I'm experiencing physical pain at these puns. Excellent work.
My job is done.
Yes. Good.
What makes me sad is I think I may have friends who now just on principle won't back the project.
Those aren't really your friends.
Well,
friends will support you even if you tell terrible puns.
I think the gnome puns are a great place for me to call it a night. I'm going to head out. Good night, everybody.
Oh, but it was good to have you. Thank you,
for coming.
Thank you so much to everybody that's submitted to the Kickstarter so far. I'm really excited to see all of these when they're finally done and together.
Heck, yes.
All right, thank you for joining us, Jess, and you can catch Jess at one of the interviews later down the line.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, Jen.
Also, sorry I keep looking to the side. My nocturnal pets decided to wake up.
Totally okay. I'm trying to keep an ear out because my cat Bree, who sometimes makes spot appearances in my own live streams, one of her favorite ways to let me know that
I agree.
anything is happening. Oh no, my food bowl is running low. Oh no, I want pets. Oh no, something smells bad. She just goes over to the corner of the living room and she just scratches the wall. And I'm like, Madam, we are not going to get our deposit back if you are going to continue this madness. Please stop.
Our dog's current method of telling us anything, I want food, I want to play, is to pinch us with his front teeth.
Oh,
which is better than the biting. He's only 8 months, so he's still very young. But I'm just covered in teeny tiny little purple bruises where he's been. But we got those little buttons that you can record something on, and then so he has one that says play and one that says outside. And today he's been hitting play, 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 play.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, no.
I know. I feel terrible.
Ian's cat just sends mixed signals all the time.
She'll just bite you, but so does my 3-year-old, so it's fine.
Surprise, it's cat.
I'll be right back.
See this? But he's like sliding along the ground.
That was a brilliant way to just go out of frame. Just okay, good night.
Like that one Junji Ito comic.
Yeah, no, literally.
I just realized I want to see Junji Ito draw a gnome.
Yeah.
It's going to have a very large spiral on its on where the face ought to be.
No, the hat is where the spiral is. The spiral is the cone of the hat.
We'll actually make that even better. Like if with the hat curving, if they do it just right, it feels like the curve never ends. Like he would do that so well.
Ooh.
Now I'm gonna have to draw that. That's gonna happen. Junji Ito is that one cartoonist I wish I drew more like, so it's probably gonna be good practice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe make it into a coloring page for the horror aficionados.
I mean, sure, why not?
Nope, didn't work.
Didn't quite work. Wasn't quite as smooth sliding back up.
That could be a good sticker set, is having the 6 styles or 6 characters, but it's 6 styles. And each one's a gnome, but in a different, like, well-known style. Whether it be a Simpsons, a jump, that could be a cool.
A well-known style.
Simpsons,
Yep. So, a 90s style, et cetera, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gnome style. That is an excellent pun. I want to make sure that was acknowledged.
Now I'm picturing both for 90s style. I'm picturing backwards hat, jean, like, radical, and Frank Miller.
I was thinking pouches and like lots of like weapons and
good night, Royal.
Yeah.
That's what I will call you.
Okay, I just got called out. Hold on.
That stuff. I need to draw more like Junji Ito.
Also, Ben, I just can't help but think of that illustration you put for D&D characters in our D&D comic, our D&D chat. That's like, your character and his big sister's kids, and they're hanging out. And then the next one you put is his sister being dragged away, about to be murdered as your main character, your character is running away. And again, it's like back to back in the chat. It's like, why am I being typecast with all the sad stuff? Because you like sad stuff, Ben.
And that is why it is my job as the editor to point this out and keep it like logged in the back of my mind.
I mean, it's funny because my mom always complains about it because she likes when I do comedy, and I keep wanting to do horror and mystery and all these really dark things. And she's like, why can't you do more stuff that's fun? And I'm like, that is fun to me.
You can't ruin my fun, Mom.
It's true. I will say it was great working with a writer because I don't often get the chance to do that. I'm usually doing my own stories. Which is funny because Ian and I like have been we've known each other since college and have always talked about projects that we would work together on, and we've only recently finally managed to make that happen. And it's just been really nice getting to do different stuff, and yet it's still sad. How does this happen?
Yeah. Oh,
what I do, I guess.
Well, it makes sense because Ian's not funny.
It's true.
I mean,
he's a very funny person. I'm joking if you can't tell.
I mean, he lives with a 3-year-old and a chaotic cat. I mean, how do you develop a sense of humor in a household like that?
Oh yeah, a 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a chaotic cat.
Yeah, it's even more of a killjoy. Man, I don't know how you do it.
7-year-old with a very sharp wit, like dangerously so. It's gonna get us killed at some point.
Also, like fun fact, this is the second time Ian and I have done a published comic together. The first time was with Jack in his publication, The Columbus Scribbler.
Wait, I got a copy sitting here.
Now you guys forgot publishing that.
Hang on.
Oh, well, we got a physical copy?
We do.
Around?
Yeah. So this is one that I actually got, Jack, from the comic shop. So,
oh, great.
Ooh,
oh, yeah.
Look at that cover.
Just shout out for Jack's sake. Boom.
Yes.
Two-time Eisner Award nominee. Man, we got all kinds of like award nominees in this anthology project, man.
Nice.
It's true. But yeah, Jack, if you want to talk about that at all, because that's probably the other major project going on right now in the group.
The Scribbler?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, So the Scribbler is a free comic book newspaper that we put out throughout the city. Comes out. It's coming out next year, probably around April, May is the next issue number 12. There you go. Hunter's got one in his hand. If you guys, if anybody is interested in checking it out, please feel free to reach out. We're accepting submissions until the end of January. It does pay, I think, $75 for a full page, $35 for a half page, and then $5 a strip. You feel free to just send us any. I mean, you're welcome to send us just ideas, and we usually get about a month to finish them once we accept the pitch. So yeah, we just started out. I think next time we won't go into full details about what the next issue is going to be like, but it should be pretty exciting. It's because we're just kind of pushing it around for right now.
Yeah, it's funny because when we submitted for it, I'd been wanting to submit to the Scribbler for a while, but with all my other projects, I just had no ideas. And I think like the last day of submission, I finally realized, why am I trying to do this on my own? And I messaged Ian and I was like, do you have an idea? And in like a couple hours, we had something to submit. It was
great.
I think I asked you, how long do I have? And you're like, can you do something in the next 90 minutes? I was like, sure, let me get writing now, I guess.
Ian is a fast writer when he needs to be. It's great.
And to be fair, that also sounds like a Ben thing to do, is to just reach out to somebody and be like, I need something in the next 90 minutes.
I work best with a deadline, like a solid deadline.
Yeah. I'd rather have a reputation for being sad. Anyway.
Sad or waiting till the last minute?
Sad or procrastinator? I mean, I guess both are true if you look at my work, but speaking of other work, we are not the only anthology game in this chat, because Angela is one of the reasons we first approached Angela to be working with us, because Angela has a lot of experience with anthologies.
I have some, yeah. I did the Awesome Possum 4 volumes, and you know, if my life ever calms down a little bit, maybe there'll be a 5th one. Every time I do one with you guys, I'm like, should I? They're really cool. You guys are giving me a lot of ideas, but it's a lot of work, and I run it by myself, and I don't know who I'd run it with.
What's it about?
Good question. It's a natural science comic anthology, so it's whatever the creators think is cool about nature. So it's very broad. You know, what animals people like, places that are really special, biographies of people. I mean, that's what's so cool about the natural science is the theme is it's so broad. There's just been some really, really cool stuff in there. It's opossum.flyingdodostudio.com is the website.
But yeah, it is a really cool set of projects. Definitely worth checking out. Did the last one have Steve do the cover? Am I remembering correctly?
No, the third volume had Steve Bissett do the cover, and the fourth volume had Tilly Walden do the cover. Well, she inked the cover and I colored it. Same with Steve.
Dope.
I colored it. Yeah, and they are really good covers. I love them.
All right, let me know if I got this right.
Yes, that looks correct.
It's opossum.flyingdodostudio.com.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice.
By the way, shout out to Sarah in the chat for saying pro-sadstinator.
I was hoping nobody noticed that.
I have to read it out loud. It is my job to embarrass you.
It's true. It's true.
Y'all are inspiring
that was
me
my
to go
job to
dust off some
embarrass
short
Ben.
stories and yeet them at submission calls again.
Yeah, dude, like one of the things I love about working with anthologies is it is so much easier to be creative with a prompt. Like even if the prompt is vague, it really makes life work significantly easier.
Well, it's because when you have a prompt, you're not staring at a blank page. You have like a however many word prompt to work off of.
Really something to start with, yeah. I'm glad you're feeling motivated to try again. That's good to hear.
I'm taking a writing class, and we have in-class prompts, and I'm like, I don't know how to do a prompt without a character. It's all about the character. So I made myself a random character generator. It's very weird, but it's very helpful.
Ooh.
Kaj, you mentioned that this is your first published story, right?
Yeah. This is my first published anything.
Well, there you go. But Eddie, I know you were at CCS, right? Did you guys work on anything there?
Not particularly. No. Kaj is not a CCS person. He's we're a couple. We're partners. Right. This is our first creative collaboration, really.
For anybody who does not know, CCS is the Center for Cartoon Studies. I have to clarify.
Yes.
Correct. I've been in one or two other small anthologies. I confess I haven't got a lot of published material currently, but yeah, as Jax was just saying in the chat, this kind of has inspired me also to try to like participate in more things again.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
As inspiration. It was really fun working together on something because we kind of had like the bare bones of the story already because as we mentioned it's derived from Kaj's character's backstory, but it was really fun to do it together and I say I drew it and he wrote it, but like I tweaked the script and Kaj helped draw a lot of the like mechanical things like the little gadgets and stuff because I am no good at machinery.
All the little blueprints and the
he's great at it, and I cannot. Kaj's art style generally looks more like hieroglyphics, which is very cool, but not quite what we're looking for. So.
That's definitely a useful skill, though. Like drawing machines is sometimes a problem.
Yeah. I feel like Rainer and I had a similar experience with. We had always sort of since we both met at the Center for Cartoon Studies. We were in the same year. And I remember thinking like, oh, well, we should do something together. And during our thesis year, we were always like, oh, yeah, when thesis is over, we should do something together. And technically we did start a comic before before starting the Gnome Anthology comic. But then we still haven't finished it yet. I think that's my fault. I think I have to finish the lettering on it. A similar sort of like this gave us the push because I knew I didn't want to have to do art this time around because I was just starting a new job when we were planning it and I was like I'm going to be really busy and literally it was like the way it worked out when we were doing like pairing up writers and artists it was like oh yeah Rainer and Ariane you guys can work together perfect great exactly what
I really hate to call you out on this, but did you guys mean to wear matching shirts?
I also just noticed that.
Look, I changed into this shirt because I realized the shirt I had been wearing all day at my job had like a giant red chili stain, like right here. Did not realize that Rainer and I were both be wearing gray and black stripes.
Yeah, the literal prisoners chaining yourselves to the couch to get comics done.
Yep. By the way, Jack is apparently having some tech issues and has to bow out. You probably can't see this, but thank you for joining us, Jack, and looking forward to your interview soon.
Yeah, we were happy to have Jack along for as long as he was here with us.
And I'm going to have to bow out too. I've got a husky that's about to claw me to death if I don't take her out.
Oh, take care of the pupper.
Yeah,
that's right. Jack, if you just want to Hunter, if you want to tell us real quick what you got going on before you log out, and we will take it from there.
Okay, so we've got the anthology that we're working on. Just expect lots of GNOME artwork, basically from me, as well as our CX3 coloring book that we're working on. What else is happening? Friday, if you're in Columbus, we'll be at the 400 Frankenstein Fridays, vendoring there. CX3 will be. And then got another anthology that I'm part of with Not So Super Publishing. I'm part of the Kooky Stories there. That's nearing its end. And then what else is happening? I don't know. I'm just looking forward to like Where Gnomes and like all this sticker talk is making me getting hungry for wanting to draw some more gnome type of stuff. So, and I'm nearly finished with my other story, gnome related pages. So we're getting to the finish line of that, hopefully by the end of the week here. So.
All right.
Okay. So I'll see you all in the interviews, and we'll be blasting that Kickstarter out. So.
All right. Well, it was good having you along with us for a little while. Thank you for joining.
All right. I'll bug you in the Discord about golden ratio stuff.
Yeah. Sounds good. And we'll see you at your first interview on Monday on your channels. Sounds good.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Oh, God, those bitches. I'm so glad they're finally off the
screen. You can really talk now.
Yes. Oh, my God. We need to just get this off our chest. Oh.
Yeah. They're just crying as they're watching it on their phones now. I can't believe they thought that about me.
First thing we bring up, just because I've been staring at it at the chat and looking for a moment.
Yeah, Eddie draws dope
birds.
That is true.
I do draw good birds. It's true.
Oh, but dope.
A lot of my stuff from back in the days is bird centric, and I do love drawing feathers.
Delightful. I also see a comment. The party starts now.
It's party time.
It is the official introvert party because some people have left.
I'm so sorry the rodents are being noisy.
Oh, we can barely hear it.
One of the things that was a big deal doing a new anthology also was bringing in new people. Like Eddie and Kaj talked a bit about how they hadn't had much published or anything published. And like in the last Kickstarter or in the last anthology, Ian and Andrew were the two newbies. So it's one of the things that we're pretty big on is trying to bring in new people. And the other new person here is Alex.
Yeah, I was about to mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, tell us a little bit about your stuff.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Tell us a little bit about your stuff.
So I mostly like started when I went to the Center for Cartoon Studies back in like 2018 through 2020. And the things I have drawn as far as comics go have mostly been like kind of in the fantasy realm. I was a part of like another anthology group called Fantology, which was like building like a fantasy world with a bunch of other cartoonists. And so I did a few volumes of that so far. And that's basically been like most of my work, actually.
Well, we were excited to have you. You've been one of the more active and enthusiastic people in the chat and in the regular meetings we had. So
yeah,
it was always fun having you around.
This was always so exciting.
Yeah.
Always pushing into new territory.
Heck yeah.
Thank you all so much for the opportunity.
Happy to have you, my dude.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Like, you had a fun, you also had one of the fun stories, like taking gnomes in a very different direction than anyone else because you were having humans who were turning into gnomes.
Yeah. Yeah, I just kept thinking, like, what would it be like to be a gnome when, like, you're a human? Both.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just where, like, the idea sprung from.
Right on. I just want to call out quickly that I just posted about this on Instagram because I forgot to earlier. And within 1 minute, I got 15 bot comments telling me to promote it.
Of course.
Incredible.
I hate that Instagram's doing that. That's really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to pull that out because I was like, oh, hey, maybe another source of people for the Kickstarter.
If they're not bots, what if they're gnomes? Gnomes on social media. Wait, they're gnomes on social media that act as trolls. That is a new story. We're making it happen.
So we're doing a Gnomes anthology part 2.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was a hit, why not?
Yeah.
No spoilers or anything, but I don't know. I feel like bots would be pretty relevant to the topic we were discussing for the next anthology. Just throwing that out there.
This is true.
Yeah, this is something I think we've talked about before. That's all good. The possible theme we're talking about next time, it's probably what we're going to do. But we were talking about the next anthology being robot themed. And
I have ideas.
yes.
Same.
I may have already written something.
I'm a sucker for a robots or people story. Like every time I see it, every version of it, doesn't matter. When the moral is robots are people too, I'm like, oh, you got me.
Yep.
You got me.
Okay, like this is the exact way we knew that gnomes would be good because this is the same reaction we had with cryptids, gnomes, and robots, including just to show the chat.
Robots.
Yeah.
Oh, robots are exact love.
Robot interest.
Might be important to reiterate, though. That's the next anthology project. If this one succeeds, so make sure to back the Kickstarter campaign. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
But there are robots in Ben and I's stories, so I mean, really, you're getting like a mini glimpse of some robots, right?
This is true. You know what? Let's do it. I'm going to do a little bit of sharing.
That short story if you back the Kickstarter.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, it's on social media. I will go ahead and share the first page of it.
Ooh.
Because we've already used that in some stuff. But I'm going to need to find that. So somebody, like, distract them. Talk, please.
Back us on Kickstarter. You can check us out at tinyurl.com/Gnome Comics. There's also a link in the doobly-doo if you're watching this on YouTube. So be sure to check that out. And also give us a follow on Twitter. That's all of the obligatory plugs that I can think of.
I think that is the official term, too, is the doobly-doo at the bottom. That's the official scientific term for it.
Yes.
It's an old term, but it checks out.
Yeah, the doobly-doo, the in your pants part, the blocky-doos.
We're down below.
Speaking of which, should Ben turn into a robot for everybody, or was that just our bad internet connection?
Apparently, the hologram is failing. So
simulation is eroding.
Yeah, that's a joke for my friend Haley, who is also in the chat, because we've only met online, and they are convinced that I am, in fact,
a robot.
No, a hologram specifically.
I mean, some friends who didn't believe Kaj was real for a while. They were convinced he was my fake Canadian boyfriend for a bit.
To be fair, you start hearing some of the stories about me out of context, and you're like, no, this guy can't be real.
I just told this before. Any one story about him sounds fairly reasonable, but you hear all the different ones, and you go, that can't be one guy.
Okay, now I'm curious. Share us one of your more
And then
weird
when
ones.
you ask me to put me on the spot and think of one, I can't.
Well, I mean, there was the whole, I've been, I worked as a blackjack dealer for about a year. Like, I actually know how to use a couple of different swords for, like, Renaissance era dueling.
Fancy.
Stuff like that.
He knows he has a lot of odd skills, and
I take apart appliances for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does a lot of odd things.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the odd in this house.
A lot of food crimes.
A lot of food crimes on this one, yeah.
Food crimes.
Yep. Yep.
What constitutes a food crime? Are you doing indecent things to strawberries or what?
Oh, no.
Strawberries are free of his crime. Most of his crimes involve cured meats.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even grosser.
Yeah, charcuterie boards and then adding ube jam.
Yeah, he was putting ube jam on his charcuterie the other day on salami. It was the worst thing I've
I
ever
am
seen.
so Midwest. I don't know what that is.
It's purple yam jam. You can get it at the Asian market.
Yep.
It's really good.
It's really good, but it does not belong on salami.
Hey,
Yeah,
it works.
what the
well.
heck?
You use a little bit of it, and then it's also sticky enough that you can actually roll the salami up into like a little tube.
Awful. Terrible.
So abrupt topic change.
Yep.
The art that's on the screen right now, the way that the title is incorporated in there is making me think of how there are like Philadelphia streets that have just the name of the street just painted into the road. So
it actually makes me think of oh shoot. Who's the guy who wrote and now I'm forgetting that name too.
Oh, okay.
I'll come back to it. The Contract with God guy.
Eisner.
Will Eisner?
Thank you. Didn't he had a comic series? Is it The Question? I think I'm thinking of The Question, where the title was always built into the landscape.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
The question wouldn't have been Eisner, but yeah. I know when we did this.
Oh, you mean the spirit?
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't remember. Names.
Yeah. When we did this text, I think Ian told me to try and do like one of the things from a Flash cover because, first off, Ian loves the Flash.
It's my love.
But like, so much of the Flash art is like builds words into the movement and stuff like that. So we try to do something like that.
I'm always a fan of when you do things in comics that can't be done in other mediums, like building your, using words as part of your panels, things like that and whatnot. And so the ability to do something like that and build the title into the the art itself just seemed like one of those things you had to do. Same thing with there's a 2-page spread Ben's got in there where you watch the movement happen. Even though it's a 2-page spread, you're watching as like panels that are parked within that spread, right? So it's still one larger picture with many pictures happening within it. And it's, again, something you can do in comics that you can't do in other mediums. So lean into the medium, right? So.
And I want to be clear, that was all Ian. Like he actually did the thumbnail for me saying, can we do something like this? And it was like, yeah, well, we could figure that out. And that's like a layout. I like layouts that do that kind of thing, but I wouldn't have thought of that specific type, which is part of why it was a lot of fun to work as part of a team. So there are some comments that are kind of roasting Eddie, and I'm not sure if I should post them or not.
Considering your culinary choices, I think one of them is.
That's all roasting me. Please continue. It only gives me more power.
Fair.
I call out my brother and say he made a salami and grape jelly sandwich once.
That sounds delicious.
To be fair, he was like 11.
It was
I'm proud of you. I made a white bread and a Hershey chocolate sandwich.
Yeah, the true culinary masters are 11-year-olds with too much time on their hands.
That's true.
Yep. My recent weird, my recent weird food addiction is peanut butter and pickle sandwiches.
Ooh, oh, hold on. Speaking of weird food obsessions, I have to grab this. I will be right back.
Okay.
See, I just got a bacon and jalapeno jam, and I desperately want to make a PB&J with it.
Ooh.
I desperately want to accidentally make a PB&J for your kids with that.
I think they might kill me.
I have like a horseradish jam, which was actually very good on like crackers and peas, but I wouldn't use it in peanut butter.
I think this one's it's got like a little bit of smoky heat to it, but it's kind of sweet too. I'm like, I feel like this needs to be in our PB&J, but it might be terrible. Who knows?
Oh wow! I am actually apparently.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. I say it to some people and they look at me like I'm crazy.
Okay. Pro tip for just food weirdos: microwave an onion for about 20 seconds, and it tastes, and you can bite into it like an apple.
Wait,
Okay.
do what?
Okay.
We have another food crime, another food criminal on the channel. Don't worry, Kaj.
Wait, what was said though? Because I heard microwave an oven. I'm like, how do you microwave an oven?
Microwave an onion for about 20 seconds. Make sure all the skin's off. Nothing else is in there. Maybe a little bit of water in like a little cup for about 20 seconds.
Ariane shaking Ariane's head. Just no.
I'm sure the fact that my roommate does not have my roommate has a sense of smell and I don't.
Rainer, you know that line in Jurassic Park that, just because they could doesn't mean they stop to think about whether they should? You can eat an onion like that, but it doesn't mean you should.
Here's the crime that I think is the worst. The time he threw an avocado in to boil with his pasta and boiled an avocado.
Skin on or skin off? There's an important question there.
Right? Was he even good? You threw it in because you could.
It did not work out great.
Of course it didn't work out great. If you're going to try that, at least, get it out of the shell first.
No, I see we have silly sleepover energy.
We threw it in the whole thing and peeled it afterwards.
But you didn't peel it first?
It works with potatoes. You can throw a potato into pasta.
Also, as somebody who pricked avocados before, you don't necessarily peel avocados. You cut them in half and you scoop them out. Like the greenest ball of pudding.
But you can throw
avocado. Yeah, you do potato.
Potato and an avocado are not the same thing.
At some point, we need to do a comic that is just your recipes, and just all the side characters could just look horrified.
What about gnome chefs, though? Nobody did gnome chefs, really, right?
Oh my god, gnome chefs would absolutely throw an avocado into pasta and just boil it and be like, that's an ingredient.
Here's the thing for me, I'm trying to figure, whenever I hear one of Rainer's recipes, I try to figure out if there's a version of it that would make sense to me. I actually did research after the onion thing. It is possible to cook an onion in the microwave, just not the way he did it. There are recipes online for it. Also, I wouldn't boil an avocado with the skin on, but I've had warmed or hot avocado. It's actually pretty good. So I bet there are ways you can make it work.
I've had avocado fries.
Yeah.
This sounds like something I would find on Chef Club if anybody's heard of that YouTube channel.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Are those the people that are like, here's 5 different things you can do with Coca-Cola. You can use it to get gum out of your hair.
It's a cooking YouTube channel where they make lots of crazy different dishes. And it's kind of like, why do you do that? It's kind of cursed, honestly. Also, gobs and gobs of melted cheese too.
Oh, of course there's always cheese. That's kind of the staple of those channels. By the way, just showing this off because this is now my new favorite snack. We had an entire bag of this shrimp chips. God. These were so good. I was not turned on to fish flavored chips until I started trying out snacks from Buxu because my friend Chloe has a Buxu subscription, and this is a thing in Japan. You can have fish flavored chips.
They're so good, right?
They're surprisingly good. I didn't think they would be. I was like, I'm going to have a shrimp flavored cracker for the yucks. And then I ate it and I was like, oh no, that's good. I need another one.
Also, I need to shout out this awesome idea. Hit us up. That sounds fun.
Y'all can do a crossover with my bro's horror anthology. It's all letters, social media posts, emails, forum threads, etc. for a horror recipe book.
By the way, I also just got a notification that Rainer is now being called out in our D&D chat for the avocado food crimes.
Ben, I made a comic to communicate what cooking is like. and sent it to you. Can you put it in this chat? Somehow relates to
how did you send it to me?
Discord. I can send it somehow else.
Oh, okay, I can do Discord. I just have many screens open.
This all relates to gnomes in some way or another. Gnomes make food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a key part of the story that Eddie and I did.
Exactly.
Like soup.
Yeah.
Just assume that all the soup in that comic was made of all of these recipes filled together.
It's French onion soup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because of
If any D&D species did invent the microwave, it would be the gnome.
Yeah, but it would have been by accident. And then they realized, oh, hey, I can actually cook stuff in this. Sweet.
They would have built it into the chest of a Warforged.
Oh, absolutely. How else are you going to make popcorn?
Son of a bug, it's a feature.
Okay. Sorry, this comic came up and I've forgotten I made it.
How to make overnight oats. Take over a candy land. Put in fridge overnight.
And there was only the one page, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
There was one page. Was that the 6-panel comic?
No. I just made that for no particular reason.
No reason.
I like it.
I've also been told that I need to share a food crime that I did.
Yes.
This is the hour we confess our food crimes.
I'm trying to find the the recipe thing I put together for it. Because I did in fact make this and videotape me taking the first bite.
Okay, I kind of want to see that.
Well, fun.
It's not really a food crime. It's just an Americanism.
Actually, I think the most up-to-date one would be in this channel.
No love.
So the idea was we were trying to I just randomly came up with a food that Rainer could not eat because he'd gone gluten-free and is also vegetarian. And just on the spur of the moment, I came up with a sandwich called the Meat and Wheat.
All right. That's basically a burger.
This seems like one of those burgers that in no form should exist.
Okay.
And I was thinking like any breaded meat.
By the way, I will say the one thing I did not put in it that I should have, and like one of our followers, Jessica, brought this up, is it should have had Spam in it, and it did not. But
oh well, opportunity missed.
Opportunity missed. Here we go. Actually, I could share a comic. And that's always a better thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost like we made a comics anthology, which you can back at tinyurl.com/gnomecomics.
This is true.
Almost.
This is why you have me on the stream.
Yes.
Ben, did you ever publicly release the video of you eating the meat and wheat?
I don't know if I did publicly.
Could that be a stretch goal?
Let's see. So the meat and wheat, first off, you got 2 grilled cheese sandwiches as the bread on either end.
Okay.
You got bacon mayo, which I've made. It's amazing. Bacon, hollandaise sauce. That was also made with bacon. Hot pastrami, a middle piece of bread that's been soaked in gravy, which some people know as the moist maker. Anyone who's watched Binging with Babish knows what I'm talking about. Let's see. Hot roast beef, sourdough crackers, which is something I made with my sourdough starter a lot. Hot ham, a Worcestershire mustard blend, and then that's the whole thing. And I wrote served with chitlins at the bottom, but I didn't go that far when I made it. The funny thing is I made it and took a bite and went, I can't believe I'm going to say this was actually pretty good.
It doesn't sound terrible, to be honest.
Yeah, it just was a lot. It's like one of those things where you look at it, you feel like a New York deli would be like, tone it down.
If I didn't have celiac and I hadn't been a vegetarian for over 20 years, I would eat it.
And pastrami might be too much, son.
I mean, it's honestly the pastrami was one of the best parts. I'm not gonna lie. Like I could actually taste the individual parts, which was wild. Like that should not have been possible.
Okay, and also when you said moist maker, my mind went to a completely different place because I'm secretly 12 on the inside.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
What are you one of those people who doesn't like the word moist?
I mean, I love saying the word moist because I know that it upsets other people who do not like the word moist.
I feel a little bad because I feel like Alex is reacting to this. I think maybe.
I mean, I admit the moment you said moist, my mind went places.
Yeah.
And not clean places.
Hey, Moist is the name of my favorite character. Well, one of my favorite characters from
That's
Discord.
true.
Oh yeah,
He's a good boy.
Moist von Lithig, one of my favorite characters.
He's a good man.
he's great. I have his
And I
hat.
recall that you got your name
Whoa.
on Discord, right?
Oh gosh.
Yep. Yeah, Discworld. Yeah, I did. I have I found a it was black at one point. But it was like a flat topped cap that I hot glued two fake wings to the sides of, and then coated the entire thing in gold paint.
It did not breathe.
Not at all. It was Golden Artist acrylic paint, because my mom's a professional artist and has been for like 30 years.
Perfect.
So yeah, it doesn't breathe. It also doesn't move or bend.
Perfect.
Yep.
That's exactly what you want.
I mean, is bending an important part that you need in clothing, or?
Not really for hats.
I like when my shirt just goes on perfectly stiff and just as a box, basically, for my arms to go through.
Starch.
Exactly.
Right. By the way, we just had another nice little boost to 991. We're just shy of 1,000.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Just $10.
They basically, they paid us just to stop saying moist. They're like, please stop.
$10,000, I will stop.
That's exactly what happened.
Whoa.
Please stop. I will pay you whatever it takes.
Hey,
Moist places are rarely clean, I find.
that's fair. Hey, does this
I gotta
mean-
drop for
wait,
just a
we
minute, but I'll be back.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if we keep saying it, we'll be rich then, right?
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's a trick. All right, everyone at the same time. Three.
No.
Let's try to make this happen.
Oh gosh.
All right.
So
One.
close to 1K.
Yep.
I'm gonna Google.
I will buy a pack of Pride stickers if you stop saying the word moist.
Well, I guess I got to go look at the dashboard and see what we got.
Okay.
Hold you to that.
I'm not gonna say moist. I will just say pus, phlegm, seepage, splooge, fester, mucus, ooze, putrid.
I feel like we're playing the worst game of Mad Libs ever.
I will stop reading this list when we reach $1,000.
No.
Can you imagine this is where somebody joins the stream? Hi, this is about a gnome comic anthology. We're so sorry.
Please buy our book. We're very sorry. Please buy it.
The SFW version of
Yeah,
Gnome
I just
Anthology.
figured out what we need to tell Rainer. No more, please.
Oh God, hold on. Oh jeez.
Was that a little too much? You need to recover.
Psychic damage.
Oh, psychic damage. All the psychic damage. Oh lordy.
Hey, since we're mostly just hanging out at this point, am I on the right or left side of your screen?
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Good to know.
which is what we're seeing too.
Okay.
Because I keep motioning towards Ben like this, and then motioning towards Kajneti or
Yep.
Yeah. We're mirrored, yes. That we're not mirrored. That is.
We did get an extra $4 out of the
We did.
Hey.
All because we stopped saying moist.
I can offer a pet cameo for more Kickstarter backers.
Oh yeah.
I feel a little bad now because that actually did come from Sarah buying a pack. I feel like we blackmailed you with love.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
I'm sorry we were so emotionally manipulative.
Would anyone like to see a creature?
Yes.
Yes.
I would love to see a creature. I love creatures.
Rat warning if anyone in the chat is afraid of rats. Don't look for a second.
I saw
you've
a
got a phobia. But here he comes.
Oh, I saw a
And it's got to be big.
Here's a man.
One more.
Ah,
He is here.
What a handsome lad.
he's telling you how to cook.
Yes.
He's helping me cook.
He's whispering secrets for how to prepare avocados and pasta in your ear.
He's there just beware the rats of dim.
He says, beware the crime.
Rat.
He's gonna chill on my shoulder for a bit.
Oh, buddy.
As long as he feels like it.
Also, actually did want the stickers. Good to know.
I like that they look like
A
big.
perfect handsome rat friend.
I like they look so round from the back.
He's very fat. He's a little overweight.
Oh, such punch.
Aw.
Oh, such punch. Oh.
He's gonna get us demonetized because of his giant balls. His name is Hawk, yes, as Brian points out in the chat.
I was wondering. I thought he was warning you.
Nope, his name,
Prey has spotted your pet.
his name is Hawk. That's his name.
That's awesome.
He got some new brothers today, but they're not ready to be handled yet. So
That's
they're gonna
fair.
play inside. He's gonna come out to play. He is gonna make me do silly poses on the camera because he wants to climb.
Buds, Buds, the camera's over here. Come over here. We want to see your precious snoot.
There we go.
Hello, precious snoot. Oh yeah, rats are so much like cats. They just love to show their butts to viewers.
I actually know very little about rats as pets. Does that hurt at all? Like, are they?
It's fine. I got a solid shirt on, so
Yeah.
that's mildly uncomfortable.
It's only really irritating if it's like bare skin because they do have like a little itty bitty like
They got little bitty claws, and you can't really trim them.
yeah.
He has pumice rock ledges. Do you want to go home, buddy? You can go home. Hang on.
Let me get the for you.
He wants to go home. He says, no, let me go back to my house.
Yeah, but rats like to snuggle.
Some of them do.
Yeah, some of them do. The two boys that I had when I lived in Phoenix really liked to snuggle. They liked to just hang out with me.
We were doing a D&D session this past Sunday, Pathfinder actually, but one of the funny things with it is that we encountered a burning rat elemental.
Oh no!
And our friend Haley immediately adopted it. Like that was supposed to be a fight scene.
Spoilers for if any of you have played Pathfinder and know the adventure I'm talking about. This is the level 1 adventure with the level 3 Cinder Rat that they decided to adopt a creature 3 times as powerful as any of them.
Oh no!
I made the. Sorry.
That tracks for an adventuring party. Let's be real. Tell them about my baby hot potato.
Yeah, Haley wants more about this. The real problem is my character is a gunslinger and is actively trying to troll Haley's character most of the time. So Z's just giving us these puppy dog eyes. Can we please keep the pet rat? It's adorable. Meanwhile, trying to claw everybody and is freaking out. And my reaction is technically grappled, held, restrained, and it's I pull out my gun and I aim it up above it, and I yell, "Pull!"
Gosh, what did you say?
Oh, as far as adopting, an elemental being that is far more powerful than you, isn't that just how Pokemon works?
This is basically a Pokemon.
And
Yeah.
to tie things back, that gunslinger was a gnome.
Oh, hey!
This is true.
Hey!
We'll get back to it.
Yes.
More anthology. Buy it now.
Oh, I think we're due for an update on how much has been raised. If Sarah is cluing us in, we might be at 1,000 already.
We are at 1,001 and 40% raised.
Yes, look at that.
Thank you.
That is so amazingly awesome. We are at like 2/5 of the main goal, which is so much better than many Kickstarters I've done.
Yes.
This is awesome.
The second Kickstarter I ever did was for the second book in my graphic novel series, The Letters of the Devil. I was trying to raise $2,000. We got it on the last day of a 30-day campaign. And I do not recommend. That was painful.
Yeah, that's a little nerve-wracking. Yeah. I will say my own Kickstarter for the Stars of Fantasyville, we've been hovering at about halfway funded for a couple of days now, and it hasn't really budged. So I'm going to be updating the add-ons and maybe adding a limited reward tier pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, it's always that initial hump whenever you're running a Kickstarter campaign of, oh God, I just want to meet the goal. I just want to meet the goal, because Kickstarter is all or nothing. You got to raise the full amount or you don't get any of it.
Yeah.
And what's the link for that again?
Talking about my Kickstarter campaign, you can find it actually at tinyurl.com/stars-of-fantasyville, or you can find it at kelseydcrawford.com.
I'll put that up for now. Let me get the other one.
Yeah.
And you are doing, we mentioned earlier, but you are doing a cross promotion thing with this particular stream right now.
Yes, if we get What the Gnomes Know fully funded before the end of this live stream, I will draw a gnome on the back cover of the Stars of Fantasyville. And I say the back cover because the front cover has already been decided, but the back cover is still up for grabs.
I will say we are about 2 hours in and are at the $1,000 mark, so we need to raise $1,500 in the next until the stream ends. So that's going to be a little tough. My guess is we're going to want to start wrapping up pretty soon. Do we want to set
percentage of the gnome? However far we get, that's the percentage of the gnome you'll draw.
Yes.
40% of the gnome. Which 40%?
Yeah. Like if we're at 40%, maybe we get like this much.
It's just
I assume you draw like no eyes, no beard. It's just a hat and like a blank face.
Yep. It's just no eyes, just nose, and a hat.
Like 40% from the side, like the left half of a gnome.
We'll do it top to bottom. It looks like Kilroy was here.
Yeah.
It kind of does, yeah.
Actually, that's pretty great. It's kind of like the cover, actually.
Yeah. I love it. That's why I wanted to draw Harold, because I was like, well, Harold, he's already modeling for me. I might as well. Harold Humberger just came up with his last name just now.
I love it.
Yes, Harold Humberger, Lord of the Isles.
Hold on, I'll make this bigger.
Oh yes, that so like we're at 40%, so we're about there-ish. We're not fully funded yet, but if we get fully funded, we can get a full gnome.
For 40%, does that include the skin? Is the question.
It includes the nose.
No, just bones and muscle. No skin yet.
I'll only give you 40% of them, but the 60% we're removing is the clothing.
Yeah, this is the saucy, not safe for work release of What the Gnomes Know. I mean, we already talked about moist.
Isn't like 98% of the human body water? So you could just draw some water.
But this is a gnome body, and we already established that they're an earth elemental, so it has to be 90% dirt.
Well, let's be real. What percentage of it is actually dirt? Nobody knows.
It's just like just a pound of mud.
You know, in my world, it's in the D&D world that my comic, or our comic was set in. It's about 90% magic. So,
and well, we all know
about
that
emotions, but that's a whole thing.
Yeah,
they start bleaching and yada.
We do also know, though, that magic is comprised primarily of the excretions of unicorns, and that is not safe for work to mention. So we are not going to discuss that on this live stream.
That's true.
I think it's too late. Mike was live.
I mean, if we want to keep talking about moist creatures.
Well, I'm going to suggest, since it is the 2-hour mark, and that's about how long we were saying we wanted it to go. I may say we.
She's in the chat.
Timing.
Just got here.
Hello.
Hey, Jessica.
Hello.
You're just in time. We're still talking for maybe another half hour. If people need to drop out, I get it. We'd said 2 hours originally, but
I started talking about unicorns, and that magically summoned her into the chat.
Apparently. By the way, I do see a lot of donations, specifically from the people in the chat, so we really do appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Shout
thank
out
you.
to Jax and HJam51 and Sarah and I'm going to call them Royal. Their username was a crown emoji.
Yeah.
Yes, their profile picture was a horse.
Yes. So
Yep.
Royal.
Brian and Ollie are, I think, might still be kicking around in here. Hi guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Love you all.
Perfectly fine, Jessica. Work comes first. We get it.
Oh yeah.
And we've had
how else are you going to earn that money to spend on our anthology?
Exactly. They did. She has already donated. So.
Oh, thank you, Jessica.
I'm trying not to call people out individually too much, but. Yep.
But still, we appreciate you.
We appreciate everyone showing their love, because one of the things that's been amazing about working with crowdfunding campaigns is it really has helped indie creators get their stuff out there and fund their stuff in a way that was almost impossible before.
Absolutely.
And honestly, comics in Kickstarter, at least, are pretty. It's interesting because I was looking at the statistics of how many campaigns actually make it to the finish line, and with most categories, it's something like only a third of them do, or something like that. The I think over 2/3 of comic projects actually get fully funded.
Oh yeah,
it's a ridiculously high number.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of them are done when they run the Kickstarter.
Yeah, there's that too.
Like gadgets, it's the opposite. No, they've got prototypes.
We promise we'll start to work on something that might work, maybe.
Yeah, that's a lot of gadget Kickstarters.
Yeah, we are, though, actually pretty far along in the process. Like, that was one of the big things we decided as a difference between Less Than Secret and this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted the book to be basically done before we did this Kickstarter, so we could get it out a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
We actually want to. We've put the date as February 2022. I'm sorry, 23. Excuse me, 23 for fulfillment. And
time
that's
traveling.
Yeah, that's because honestly, we're hoping to be able to place our orders in. That's honestly hedging our bets. We're hoping to place our orders and start getting stuff out at the end of December, and then like ship out in January if we can. Like, we're really hoping for a quick turnaround on this. Pretty much as soon as we get the money, we want to be running.
Just to be clear for anyone who's curious, all the comics are done. The book file would be done by now, but my computer with the file on it broke. But,
no.
But
you have a backup of the file, though, right?
The repair person said they'd be able to get it off it. My backups were not working, though. But
we do have PDFs of it and things like that. Like, we can make it work if we need to. But yeah, as soon as we've got those files back from the computer, that's probably what we're going to be working off of, and that'll be fine.
I can always look up files. There
we go.
Also, just
I got the special edition to match my Less Than Secret one with the poster and some stickers as an add-on. Smiley face.
Nice.
Megan.
Yeah. Those are some good. That's some good stuff. And also, like, if you missed out on getting the special edition for Less Than Secret and you wanted it, it is available as an add-on. I am going to bite the bullet and make more of both.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Ben, does that mean I'm meeting you for another party to put it all together?
Yeah. Honestly, I might. There are a couple more Columbus people in this group now. I might do a bigger party with it and just be like, yes, let's all get together and cut some stuff and fold some stuff, and we'll make it a thing.
Yeah, depending on the weekend that it falls on, I might be able to help you out.
Yeah.
It's funny we're sitting. This was not planned, but I have this sitting. I looked over, it's sitting on the shelf next to me, and
Nice.
then this is also sitting on the shelf above it.
Nice.
Hey!
Hey,
I was
wait,
like,
what do you have that poster in? Is that a?
Oh, that
it's
looks.
just a poster frame that I've had for
Okay.
years.
Oh,
Nice.
that's unique because that looks kind of like a original art page protector that's made for like original 11x17 comic pages or like comic art.
It honestly, it came with a years and years ago. My wife got a poster for she ended up with it randomly. She doesn't know how she got it, but it was like a poster for Blade Runner that she ended up with. It was fit perfectly in there. And then when I got this poster, I was like, but this also fits perfectly in there. And just gonna put that because she was like, I don't care, go for it. So on the other side is Spider-Man. So
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, one of the things that's funny about the posters, because we've made them part of the early bird special, which we did last time as well, and that was I've run into a few situations where I've seen that poster randomly in people's backgrounds on live streams, and it always makes me happy. Like my friend John has it up in his work area, and we live stream sometimes because he does. I help him with his album art for music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's always wild. Like I've also stayed at his place a few times. I crash with him whenever I'm in Pittsburgh for a con, and it's always weird to me because I look around and it's like, oh, Less Than Secret. How, like people have these.
Yep.
That's such a weird moment to be like, oh, people have your stuff, and you've read it? Why?
Yeah.
Because both that anthology and this one are full of good comics.
Yes, no, absolutely. I'm not. There's just that eternal imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how many of y'all who were in the last anthology are already looking at your art in Less Than Secret and going, "Oh, I wish I could have done that a lot better."
I'm honestly.
I'm already thinking that about this book.
That's fair.
I will admit, I am thinking that about mine, but that's because the only art of mine that was in the last one was my profile picture because I don't draw. So, like, oh, that's terrible.
That's where I'm at. I drew my little portrait. But
I drew one this time and I gave it to Ben. And I said, "Can you clean this up?" And he said yes. So, if
And to be
it's
fair, I
not
haven't done it yet, but I will.
in this one, I drew myself as a dinosaur with a gnome beard and a hat. So,
yes.
Nice.
Oh my God! It's Harold and Maud's adopted child.
Yes.
That's
I
cute.
drew
Carly.
a comic, and then I went on like a full solid 2 months of studies, and then I was like, oh no, my work, and then I went back and reshaded all of it. So, avoided that.
Yeah.
Very excited for this. Yes.
I already did fan art of yours, Rainer and Arian.
Yes, the bird. Yes,
The bird.
I know that bird.
Oh, look at that bird.
I don't think I told you this. Technically, I did fan art of that because I hadn't drawn the chicken yet. So I just told you this.
That's great.
Perfect.
It's funny.
That's great.
Brilliant. Oh my gosh. Okay, so where are we at on the Kickstarter? I haven't looked for it.
It is still hovering at 1001, which I will say, fantastic. Like having a third of it funded in just a couple hours is massive progress. And that's already much farther than we were with the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
You should absolutely associate Rosamund with birds, just saying.
That is specifically for Arian and Rainer.
Yep.
Ben, have there been comments that we can see this whole time? I just saw one and I agree. Yes, you should.
Oh yeah, that's that in the private chat. So one thing just to show, because we are kind of doing some winding down, and we've been talking a lot about Less Than Secret. There's a project I did earlier in the year where I have started making live read like animated versions of some of my comics. And I can actually showcase the one that we did for that. And I honestly, like, Ian and I will have to figure this out, but I would like to do it again with our story once we are contractually able to, because we actually do ask people not to mess with their stories until we've had a chance to have a proper print run. But I will, since we figured out you can, in fact, do video stuff on here, I'm going to see if I can load it up.
Thank you, Jessica.
And also, of course, shout out to Kelsey for doing more than like 2/3 of the voices in it.
I did a lot of the voices for A Mother's Love, the short.
It was ridiculously fun.
Oh yes, it was a lot of fun to also make chupacabra noises.
Oh yeah, like the chupacabra noises we both kind of did, but Kelsey did way better because Kelsey lives with a cat and knows how to do it.
Oh yeah. So like the majority of the noises that are not, that's me.
All right, let's see if this loads.
The faces that one makes when you make like animal sounds. Yeah, I definitely freaked out Bree while recording some of these lines, particularly with some of the hissing, because she was like, "What's going on, mother?"
That feels like it's going to be really loud. Hold on.
Fun fact, I actually made the microphone spike a little bit. Moved them out back. They was spooking the other goats. I'll dress them later.
Fine. What done it?
Chupacabras. 3 or 4, I'd say.
Can't be. They're cowardly. Don't go near the pens.
There weren't a drop of blood left in them goats. Chupacabras.
What do we do? To lose more livestock?
Your pa should get here any day. We'll go on a hunt then. Thanks. Till then, we take shifts. One works, one stands guard. Pack will move on once they see we ain't afraid. Hey, sweetie, what you see out there? Nothing. Sit with me a spell. What happened to the goats, Mama? Chupacabras got 'em. Won't lie to you, it was bad. Happens out here sometimes. Gotta be careful. You remember them coyotes we saw when we was moving here? Uh-huh. Well, chupacabras are a lot like them. Bigger and meaner, but just as meek. Me and Pa will keep you safe, and if they ain't moved on by the time your grandpa gets here, we'll hunt them down. Till then, though, you need to play inside, okay? Yes, Mama. Ain't no force in the world stronger than a mother's love. Trust in that. You'll be fine. We're working outside. Holler from the window if you need us. Okay. I'll check it out, see if I got one. Keep watch till I get back.
Careful.
I don't remember which one of us did the little yip there.
I think that was yours.
Okay, couldn't remember. It can't be. Grandpa.
Honey, come to bed. I'm real sorry about your paw, but they ain't coming tonight.
What do you know?
Pardon?
These ain't acting right. They should hit easy prey, not armed men on horses. Who knows what they'll do?
Of course this ain't right, but not sleeping fixes nothing.
And if they come again tonight?
They won't! They after the goats again?
Oh, holy. Grab the pistol and start shooting.
Mama, what? In your room, shut the... No! Papa? Back in the room, sweetie. Now. Mama, is Papa? Hush now, child. It's gonna be all right. Mama's gonna... I found it the other day. It was hurt. I wanted to make it better. Keep it safe, like it's Mama. But it seems real sick. Yeah, honey. That leg's infected. Don't reckon it'll last much longer. And it's real, Mama's outside. What do we do, Mama? It'll all be okay. Come sit with me. You got enough bullets? Yeah, I got 2. When the time comes, that's all I'll need.
I don't just make sad stories, you guys.
Ben, keep telling yourself that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't want to update the ticker because I didn't want to mess with the stream, but we're up to 12:01.
Who
Yeah.
knew that child murder would get us closer to our goal?
That's right.
I mean,
There you go.
But yeah, that was an animated version of Mother's Love, my story from Less Than Secret. It and Kelsey's story, A Day in the Life of Mothman, are finalists for the Space Prize in the mini comic short story category. So if you are able to vote in that, vote for us, please. Be
We're
awesome.
fighting each other.
Yeah, we're fighting each other. We're gonna see who comes out on top.
I tell you what, I 100% do not care as long as one of us wins, because
Yeah.
I see that
kind
as
of-
victory for Less Than Secret, and I claim that.
Yeah. But I kind of want it.
Yeah, no, 100%. But
Oh, we made Jessica cry.
yeah,
This gives me chills every time, Ben, you monster.
yeah. I had a lot of fun making that. Honestly, I would make them for all the projects if I had time and everyone's permission.
Oh, heck yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely keep doing that in the future.
I mean, if my story had more, I don't know, sound effects and dialogue, I would say yes. But the Day in the Life of Mothman is largely just vignettes.
Yeah. I imagine that having a lot of really complicated sound effect work, which I'm starting to figure out. Like, I actually did a lot of film editing in college, but I was never a huge audiophile. It's interesting. It was interesting figuring out a lot of that layering with, because the audio was completely nuts in A Mother's Love. That was a lot of fun to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there were a number of layers for the chupacabra sounds.
Yeah, like that just I kept stacking. Also, what was funny about that is like I hadn't recorded my chupacabra sounds, but I've been kind of practicing them in my head what they'd be. Then you sent me your file of your chupacabra sounds, and it's like, oh, basically this, but you're doing it better.
Yeah.
What's really funny about that is that part of the reason I dropped from Less Than Secret was that I was afraid my story would be too depressing. And
then we saw a mother's love. Coffee isn't sad most of the time.
I'm not always sad. Actually, the one this week might be a little sad.
People you know in your heart.
To each other.
Oh
Sure,
well,
you don't
it's
make sad stories.
but yeah, we have officially made it to 49%, which is I'm trying to remember what we had at the end of the Less Than Secret stream. I want to say it was about 700, so it was just under half.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've already done significantly better, and I'm hoping that momentum keeps up. I wouldn't be surprised if
we're only $14 away from exactly half.
Yes.
No, only $4 away.
4. Oh yeah.
So I'm
I
pretty,
know math.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got that by the end of the stream, and I wouldn't be surprised if we made goal pretty soon. Like, I'm not sure if we'll. Last time we did it in 5 hours, but yeah, I'm knocking on wood. But
last time we opened mobs midday, so that's part of it.
That is also a factor. Yeah.
A year later, we find out the real cryptid is Ben's Happy Comics.
They exist. Like Bigfoot, sure.
All right, so to be fair,
Ben and I either enormously depressing or shit posts. There is no in between.
Never have words been truer.
Everything I write is either dark as hell or just extremely stupid. No sliding scale, one or the other.
What were you gonna say, Ian?
Well, I was gonna say that to be fair, when Ben first told me that it was gnomes, I said, "Can it be anything?" And he said yes. And I said, "Can it be a story about a gnome who goes to Barnes and Noble and orders some tea and just sits down and reads?" And he goes, "I mean, technically yes, and I hate you because I love the pun, but that's stupid." So it would have been a happy story, but it would have been terrible.
Story.
Barnes and Noble.
Their competitor is Nooks a Million.
I like that too much.
Now I want to make a special edition of the anthology where every single line of dialogue is replaced with puns.
Oh my God, that's the special. That's special edition too. Electric Boogaloo.
What's weird about working with a topic like gnomes is I feel like we keep wanting to do more stuff with gnomes. I feel like when we each picked a cryptid, we kind of were like, "This is the story I want to tell about this cryptid."
Mm-hmm.
And with gnomes, it's just like, let's tell a billion different stories about gnomes. Like I could do 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the wild thing about gnomes. It's like they're like rabbits. Once you see one, suddenly 5 more pop up, and then 5 more on top for each one of those pops up.
I also had the same thing with cryptids. I noticed cryptid stuff everywhere now.
Oh my God, right? Like I was at YumaCon and I was walking around and I was like, that's a Mothman keychain. That's a Mothman print. Oh, and Mothman was on YumaCon's badge. Like,
Nice.
what?
Oh yeah, they had a cryptid theme this year.
They did. They had a cryptid theme.
We actually
this year.
talked to them about guesting and doing stuff, and it didn't work out. But yeah.
Apparently, the behind the scenes stuff for YumaCon has a lot of like hoops that you got to jump through. I never deal with any of that. I just go there as like a vacation
that's
convention.
Fair.
So
I actually just thought of something I kind of want to show off. I will be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
Kelsey, I don't know if I told you this, but while Less Than Secret was happening, I actually ended up going down to the Mothman Museum down in West Virginia.
Ooh.
And to this day, I picked up a hoodie because I love hoodies.
Yes.
I picked up a hoodie from there. It is still like the hoodie I wear almost every single day, to the point where my wife's like, we should probably get you another one because you wear that. You're gonna wear it at holes into all the elbows and everything. So.
Yep. Mothman wants to give you constant hugs. I mean, in fairness, the short story that I wrote with him, he's not a bad guy.
See?
He's just a little.
And he makes amazing hoodies.
He makes amazing hoodies, and nobody knows because he just kind of stands there, a little awkward, like just staring at you with those big old googly eyes. But yeah, did you see the Mothman statue while you were down there?
I did. I'll post some pictures in the Discord or something here at some point. I'll have to find them. So it was last summer. I'll have to dig for them.
Excellent. Did you manage to get his wonderfully sculpted butt? Because the Mothman statue has an unbelievably well sculpted butt. I wish I were joking.
Nice. The Mothman statue, the only Mothman that looks like a moth.
Just to show, I apologize. I'm checking right now, and unfortunately, this artist did not include their card and does not have anything on their pieces for this. But I believe I was at Techo this year, and in the artist alley, I came across someone who did cryptid posters. So I just have to show off.
Nice. I like that one.
Yep. There's Mothman. We've also got, I wish I'd remember this when Jess was here. We've got Jersey Devil.
Ooh, look at that.
And also...
He needs a Christmas sweater.
Yep. It's technically not a cryptid for various reasons, but I do just want to show off this cool Wendigo.
Ooh, dope.
Yep.
That's nice.
This is all by the same artist. I apologize. I do not know exactly who it is, but if you're ever at cons in Pittsburgh, keep an eye out because that's where I found this person, and their work was great.
Artist, put your name on your stuff.
Give me a business card in the thing, like please.
Oh my God, please, yes.
Yeah,
Anytime I make purchases, I try to grab business cards. And okay, I got to throw this out there for artists who are just beginning to vend for the first time. Actually carry business cards. I don't know why there's suddenly a hankering in the arts sphere of things where it's like, oh no, don't carry a business card, just have QR codes. Like, not everybody is going to have a smartphone that can read a QR code, but everybody can absolutely take a business card.
I sort of agree. My one thing is I've been kind of playing with the idea of swapping out most of my business cards for stickers, because a sticker with your brand information on it, it's not only first off, it's a product people are more likely to want and hold on to as opposed to throwing away. But also, if they put it on something that's visible, it's advertising for you.
Yeah. But the important thing is to have something for free that you can give to people so that they can find your work later.
That is small.
Make it small.
People always assume something at your table is free, so actually have something be there.
Yes.
Also, I have had people before think that because I have these mini collections for my Weeb Comic Cost Pain. There are 6 letters, so they're like tiny. They're like that big.
Yeah.
I have had people take them thinking they're business cards and leave.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, this is a cool way to advertise you. And I'm like, that's a $10 comic.
Technically, if they walked off without paying, it is a business card at that point.
I have gotten a business card that was a tiny folded newspaper.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny because everyone, it's only happened 3 times at this point. 2 of them were 100% my fault. And the third one we caught in time, and she was very apologetic. But I've never thought it was malicious. Every time I think it's been a miscommunication.
Yeah. Cards so that on the back there's a tiny piece of art. So people get to pick which of these 5 illustrations do you want as your teeny tiny art?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If there is a way that you can get business cards that you can change up the art on the back, because some printers do that.
Yeah. I'm actually.
I can smell hot dogs. Yeah. That's dinner. That's what I mean. We're having hot dogs for dinner.
That's
gotcha.
fair. It was good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Your hat is delightful.
We have been going about 2.5 hours, so it's probably a good time to wrap up the stream.
But we haven't reached our goal.
I know, but it's
so close.
I know, we were so close.
It just got halfway.
Yeah, because I had announced a couple of times that if we made our goal before the end of this live stream, I would draw a gnome on the back of my upcoming art book, The Stars of Fantasyville. Who knows? Maybe Zac Efron or something will just pop in and be like, "Here's the rest."
We can keep going if you guys have nothing to do. Angela, I know you have to bow out, but
Yeah, but it was good to see you.
later.
Yeah, I should actually probably bow out as well.
Yeah, early morning.
It's a good time to do a general wrap up. Honestly, I'm happy with 49%. That is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and this is actually like more raised in a live stream compared to like the lesson secret last year.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This is almost the same amount that we asked for Lesson Secret at the base level. Like,
yeah.
We asked for 1,500. We would have been so close to it at that point.
Also, to answer Sarah's question, 49% of a gnome.
Hey, that's the cover, basically.
That's the cover.
That is the cover.
It's the cover of our book, which you can back at Kickstarter, tinyurl.com/gnomecomic.
It's true. You know what? Why don't I bring up the full cover just to show that as well?
Someone will probably donate buy $4 worth of things in the next 12 hours. Obviously.
Yeah, and then we can be actually halfway there.
We're pretty dang close.
Have I not made? Huh.
Oh, Jack says, delighted to have heard of this project and getting to watch this stream. Big smiley face.
Thanks for being here, Jax.
Yeah, Jax.
That's basically it.
You've been awesome. I'm sorry, I just took Kelsey's phrase, but
there's a reason I haven't trademarked it because anybody can say you are awesome.
It's true. But
I can.
Yeah.
This changes everything.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on also how many viewers we've had, and it's been pretty consistent. This has been a solid. It's been a fun stream to do.
We're at 50% now.
What?
We've got $5 more.
Hey!
Halfway there. Whoa! Living on it. I'm sorry.
Well, we had it for 5 seconds.
We had it, and now it's oh no, it's back. Wait, what's happening? Sorry. Oh,
It's probably just
What?
Yes. We're at 12:51.
Okay.
I just remembered there was probably a sleeping child over
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, we have officially made it to halfway. That is incredible.
All right.
You know what?
Everyone.
You know, I just also realized we funded Lesson Secret in 5 hours.
Yeah.
This, we're at the 2.5 hour mark, and we just hit 12. We just hit halfway.
Nice.
Yeah.
If we get a bunch after this stream, that would do it.
Yeah, that would.
But
Next year, we do this.
Yeah.
Everybody keep chilling, make it happen.
Yeah.
that's right. So
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, steal your parents' credit cards.
Remember, kids, there's that magic number that's on the little piece of plastic your mom and dad keep in their purse.
You're halfway
Thank you, Jessica.
there. Oh, it was Jessica. I added $5. It was too close not to.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica.
So thank you all for joining us for this. It's been absolutely awesome. I love every time we get to do one of these launch streams.
Yes.
And we keep an eye out on social media. You can find CanonWrite Productions itself at CanonWrite Prod on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You can also, if you follow this YouTube channel and also the CanonWrite YouTube channel, I will be setting up and sending out links not too long from now. We're still trying to get some of that set up, but we will be having streams at least 3 times a week that will be showing up there during the course of the Kickstarter with the interviews with all the amazing creators, the people you saw today, and a couple that weren't able to make it. So we are really looking forward to that. This, once again, is What the Gnomes Know, a comics anthology. We are 50% funded in just 2.5 hours. This is going to happen, folks. And
Heck yes.
Here's the other thing. There are a number of incentives at each tier after the initial, the base tier of 2,500 we have.
Mm-hmm.
We're basically doing every $1,000. We're doing new things. And one of the main things of those is that we actually get to pay our creators more. We're raising enough funds that we can increase their page rates. So you're really helping us out if you do that. And we're also going to be giving you some cool stuff like behind the scenes sections, interviews with the creators in the book, and things like that. So thank you very much for joining us. For everyone who's backed and who's spreading the word, you can also use What the Gnomes Know or Gnome Comics as hashtags on social media, and we'll be keeping an eye out on that.
Hashtag What the Gnomes Know.
That's right.
Gnome Comics.
That's right. And yeah, that pretty much does it for us. Until next time, rock on, guys. Never stop drawing. And any
Thank
other
you so much for watching. You are awesome.
and any other sign offs people have.
Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Tell your friends.